Sponsored by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy Button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
You often hear the 4 C's of diamonds: color, clarity, cut, and carat weight, and how the direct diamond importers are bigger, better, and cheaper with no competition. Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's family-owned jewelry store, wants to take you on the trust side of the jewelry industry. The 4 E's: education, experience, equipment, and expertise. Pierce Jewelers' team has over 200 years of jewelry experience along with their state-of-the-art equipment. Their expertise isn't just sales, but in jewelry and watch repair, appraisals, gemology, and custom design, all done in-house. The diamond world has changed. Pierce carries a vast selection of mined and lab-grown diamonds and can educate you on both and will help you save your hard-earned money. Pierce Jewelers has some of the most unique and exquisite pieces of colored stone or diamond jewelry. Many are one-of-a-kind custom-designed pieces. Pierce Jewelers is proof their family-owned jewelry store in Carmel can compete in today's world. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Up to 50% off and 2.99% financing, plus receive an additional $550 off your project.
Because at B Windows,
we mean business.
We mean business.
This hour powered by Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard Air dealer.
Forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mainly sunny, warm start to the month of October. Today's high 83, mostly clear, quiet, and cool overnight. Lows into the mid-50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey, 93 WIBC.
I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and on WIBC.com. Kendall Casey starts now.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Oh, man. You know, I got in there, Case.
What's that?
I've been a little down the past week. I've been feeling a little...
Government getting to you?
I've been feeling a little overwhelmed. This is an absolute true story I'm about to tell you. I think I've expressed this to you. I said, look, I've been feeling a little overwhelmed the past week because the politicians are so bad. And they're so brazen about their badness.
Yes.
And it's like constantly on this program drinking from a fire hose. And no matter what thing we take on,
what you do,
there's 9 things behind it, and you're never going to stop these people.
Right.
You're never going to actually be able to solve the problem. The government is too big. It's too unethical. It's too corrupt. It's too rotten. And I told you, I said, for the first time in my life, I was kind of glad to take a few days off. I've never felt that way before. I've never wanted to not be here. But I just became so...
Reinvigorated?
So down... Well, I'll get to that in a second. But so downtrodden, downhearted, that I wasn't even sure I wanted to continue.
Oh, no.
And then I thought about pulling the plug on the whole thing. I said, maybe it's time for the old robberoo to skedoodle out the door and head off into the sunset. And last night, I had a talk with my old man.
Yeah.
And he, you know what he told me?
What?
He said, because my dad...
He's a smart guy.
Well, he dealt with the worst of the worst for his basically entire adult life. And he said, you know, there were times in my career, Rob, where I felt the same way. And then you know what happened? I said, what, Dad? He said, something big would hit. Some big thing.
Yeah.
And I was instantly drawn right back into it.
Yes.
And today, Casey...
Lean in.
I have gone from the depths of despair and downtroddenness and sadness... And something big has hit.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way.
And that big thing is it is finally being revealed to the public what a complete dumpster fire the mayor of Carmel and her rotten city government actually is.
Wow. Okay, so the mayor of Carmel, Sue Finkham, is alleging that some counselors harassed city employees.
Oh, so we'll get to what she means by harassment in just a second.
Okay.
But this is, like, I would be mortified. Of course, these people have no shame, so she's not going to be embarrassed about this at all. But all of the things going on with her city, all of the really big issues. So You Are Current, which is the sort of, for lack of a better term, towny newspaper in Hamilton County, city newspapers, covers all things Hamilton County. They have this huge expose on this email chain, I guess, for lack of a better term, or emails that have been sent out by the mayor of Carmel. And what is she focused on, Casey? Not lowering her property tax rate, not focusing on affordability of living for her citizens. It's not roads, it's not bridges, it's not sidewalks, it's not water, it's not sewer, it's not the police department, it's not the fire, which amazingly, Senate Bill 1 passed, and they still have a fire department in Carmel, which, given her testimony in front of the senators on Senate Bill 1, we were very worried if you got any property tax relief, the fire department might just disappear in Carmel.
Yes,
so thankfully,
she did lead the charge on that.
It's still there. No. She's not focused on any of that. She's focused on, because some counselor told a city employee that they got, quote, all dolled up for an interview. She's basically alleging some crime against humanity has been committed, and it must stop immediately. Somebody must put their foot down, Casey, and that foot is her.
So she labeled the comment as demeaning and inappropriate, saying it contributes to a hostile work environment and that she wanted them to go to training.
Now, what's great about this article is these counselors, they know what a dumpster fire this woman is, and you can tell. Look, I've been around this long enough to know when other politicians can smell blood in the water, because they got 3 of these people, I think, on the record in this story, clapping back at this mayor, basically saying, do your job, stay out of our way, you're being ridiculous. And I love every second of this. And by the way, I would like to these people, because they're named in the article, Adam Ossen, Matthew Snyder, and Ryan Locke, I think, is the 3rd council member. I would like to offer them unlimited time on this program.
So they can, defend saying all dolled up?
No, dump all over the mayor.
Okay.
If you want 20 minutes, you got it. If you want an hour, you got it. If you want 3 hours, you got it. Because I am all for this. I love that this is coming out. I love that they're exposing this woman. I love that they're pushing back. I'm team council member all the way on this, because Sue Finkham is a dirty, dirty, rotten politician, and I don't like her for a second. When you go in front of these senators and you act like some horrible thing is going to happen if people get a few $100s of property tax relief, you have no business being in charge of any portion of humanity or society. Certainly a wonderful place to live like the city of Carmel, and I'm glad she's getting exposed.
So the interesting thing about this is they're all Republicans. They're arguing like siblings over the auxiliary cord on a road trip, right? And in the meantime, the residents of Carmel, what do they want? They want their Chris Kendall market. They want safety. They want smooth roads. They want beautiful roundabouts. And Sue Finkham is in charge of what, a $230-ish million budget?
And this is what she's spending her time on.
There you go.
Look, okay, Casey.
Yeah, Rob.
Now, I'm not going to report you to...
Get spicy.
Well, I'm not going to report you to HR.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let this go any further than just us having this conversation here. You did tell me a week or so ago that I looked very cute.
I did. We were walking in the building at the same time, and you turned around, and I said, oh, hey. And you said, hey. And I said, oh, you look cute today.
Now,
Was that highly inappropriate?
Well, I'm a very happily married
man.
man.
That's nothing compared to what has been said.
Oh, women have said way more intense things than I looked cute. And it just comes with this general assemblage, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. Quite frankly, I've got a lot to offer. I mean, not only am I just a beautiful human, but I also have a very powerful radio show, an incredibly pleasant demeanor, and other variables that I can't mention on this family-oriented program.
Sure.
But what I'm saying is, I said, thanks, Casey. That was very nice of you.
Yeah.
I didn't make a federal case out of it.
Right.
I didn't report you to HR. I didn't go to a manager. You were just stating the obvious. I looked really good that day.
You were dolled up.
And all this guy said was one of these employees got all dolled up for a TV interview.
He said it was a gender-neutral compliment.
Yeah, like, I would have no problem telling producer Carl, you got all dolled up for Tony Katz's show today. Like, I don't think Carl would be reporting me to HR if I said that. And you're, like you said, you're in charge of, what, hundreds of employees, hundreds of millions of dollars of an annual budget. You've got billions of dollars of economic development. You're fast approaching in on Indianapolis to be the crown jewel of the entire state in many cases. And this is what you're spending your time on? Now, there's some, and we'll get into this here in a little bit because we have a Carmel resident who's going to come in, and he's not very happy about this either. There's more to this story because they go into the city council wants some of these invoices for legal bills related to this Chris Kendall market that they're not able to get. This is a really big thing, and anything that will pull the veil back on Sue Finkham, the mayor of Carmel, I'm all for it, and I'm team those people.
So is this a distraction, a deflection? Some counselors are describing this as manufactured drama. The real question is, what is the mayor's motive here? Is there something really here, or is she just trying to direct your attention elsewhere?
And look, I'd be very remiss. We would invite the mayor on as well if she'd like to. We'd be interested in hearing her side. Now, I can't recant the things I previously just said, so I'm not saying it'd be a fair interview, but we would be willing, if she wanted to tell her side of the story. And where are you at on all this? Like, if some guy, I mean, it's not like he's an immediate supervisor. I mean, he is an elected official, but it wasn't like he was making a comment about a body part, or it wasn't like he was sending nude photographs or asking her out on a date, or, I mean, like, come on, aren't we all adults here?
All dolled up.
Can't we handle that?
Would he have said that to a male counterpart? If the employee was a male, would he have said, you look all dolled up?
I think I've told Kevin before he looked like $1 million. Like, you might use a different phraseology, but you're saying the same thing. I mean, like, Kev, would you have you ever reported me to HR for saying you look like $1 million? You had to think about it?
I don't think I did.
That's it for you. No more compliments for you, buddy.
Oh.
Jeez. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is why our governments are in the shape they're in. It's why our society's in the shape we're in. It's why these are the people running. Like, this is their focus. She's lecturing these council members about their etiquette. When I saw the headline, I was like, oh my gosh, there's probably, like, this guy probably, went all Brett Favre on this employee or something. And it's not even anything close to that.
I think it really goes down to the employee. You have to consider how she was feeling in the moment. And is Sue Finkham trying to protect her employees? Is there more there? Is there something more nefarious? Is it deeper? Is it more than just this one comment? Or was that it? Mayor's blowing this out of proportion, and why is she doing that?
Yeah, if you got more, I mean, this is a big article, right? They clearly knew this was coming out. You would think, I mean, she looks horrible in this article. You would think if she had some smoking gun of this mass inappropriate behavior, like some of the things we've alluded to, she would have thrown that out there as well. Part of this, right? Like, we're not going to tolerate this. This is wholly inappropriate. The best you can do is say somebody got all dolled up for a TV interview. That's what you got? That's your smoking gun? That warrants an email? Get out of here. Anyway, so we have a Carmel resident joining us here shortly.
We'll get his take on it on the way. Yes, it is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
America has a new favorite beer. It's Mick Ultra. If you remember, Modelo was the #1 beer in America. They're blaming Trump. The Trump administration's immigration policies have affected its sales.
Come on.
At least Cracker Barrel came out and said, hey, we screwed up. We're going to go back to the way things were. Bud Light never did.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. years. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
At Price Point Comfort, we're here to keep your home cozy and comfortable, and we'll always have your best interests at heart.
Just go to PricePointComfort.com. Price Point Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
I'm shocked we're all still alive, Casey.
Because the government shut down?
The federal government has shut down.
How is it affecting your life? Tell me, on every level, be specific. What is it doing to your day-to-day operation?
Got up and did the same thing today I do every single other day.
Oh, so really not at all.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think we said, so at midnight, the federal government, quote unquote, shut down. Now, of course, there are still many facets of the federal government that are operating exactly as they always have. The average.
For example, Congress is still getting paid.
That's right. I also saw that they're not even shutting the Park Service down on this one.
No. And the Smithsonian is going to stay open for, I think it was until October 6th. And the Postal Service, that's still running. They're still collecting student loans.
Yeah. All the
Social Security still going out.
You made a great point. You notice it's never the IRS that shuts down.
Right.
They're never. We must stop collecting taxes.
You can still pay them. They still want your money, and the people who couldn't get it together enough to pass, the CR, they're getting paid.
Somebody made a great point. This is the most effective the Congress will ever be right now, not being in session, and remind everyone that the Republican Party is doing victory laps over passing Biden-level spending. That's what just happened here. The Republicans are telling you how great it is that they passed Biden-level spending, and the Democrats, it shows how crazy they've become, they're now rejecting Biden-level spending. That's our government. The Republicans on one side are thrilled about Biden-level spending. The Democrats now say Biden-level spending, not enough. Gee, Casey, hard to believe our country's in the shape it's in.
Okay, so the bill, it was passed by the House, and it fell short by 5 votes. They had to reach that 60-vote threshold needed to advance in the Senate. 3 non-Republicans supported the bill, including John Fetterman.
Hi, this evening I just voted for 2 CRs tonight. And the first one votes to affirm that we would like to extend the ACA tax credits because, of course, I voted for health care. The second vote is about making sure that we keep our government open, and I did vote for that because I think it's a sad event if we shut our government down later today. So for me, our nation doesn't believe that kinds of chaos. Now, for me, it's about more over the country, not the party in this kinds of moments just like this.
He still can't speak. For me, it's more over the country. Like, and I know he had a bad medical event. I get it. But every time I hear him speak, it's like, unless he just has some incredible ability to process things in a phenomenal manner, much greater than that which he is an orator of them, I don't believe most of the time he has much of an idea of what he's voting on anything and just goes out and does what he's told. Does that make me a horrible person?
No, but I think he's made a little bit more sense. He may not be able to articulate it as well, but since he had that medical issue.
But does he know? Does he actually know? I mean, not that, let me be specific. Most of these guys and girls probably don't have any idea what they're actually voting on. They just go out and do what they're told, nor do they read things or whatever. So I guess it's not all that unique that he would be in that position. He just, man, it's just something about one of the most 100 most powerful people in the country not being able to string a coherent sentence together. Maybe that makes me a horrible human, but if so, guilty as charged. But nothing's going to change. Everything's fine. We'll find out how much government we don't actually need. I would love to see the federal government shut down for, let's give it 6 months. Let's just make a deal.
Trump does hold the record. Last time it was 35 days.
And we're all still here.
Yeah.
And he caved at the end and gave them what they wanted, which he will probably do here because he hates bad publicity. And the media will go out in full force about, they'll find some grandma somewhere who didn't get something, and then they'll make that out to be every street corner in America, and Trump will get wishy-washy and cave, and that's the way it's going to go, right? But it doesn't matter. Like, our government is so massive would be an understatement. It's so bloated. It's so ridiculous. These people are a joke. The Republicans now are all Team Biden spending. The Democrats are so insane that Biden spending isn't enough, and you're going to keep paying for it one printed dollar at a time. All right, so let's take a break.
Okay.
We have a Carmel resident who's going to join us next, and he's got some experience with the government.
Yeah.
He's very upset about how the mayor is handling her business there in the city of Carmel.
Jim Merritt is on the way from 93 WIBC.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course, and it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kinda like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaim their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The latest on the shutdown. Sunny and 63 in Indianapolis. The high today at around 83. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's now 9:30. For the first time in 7 years, the federal government has been shut down after Democrats and Republicans failed to reach an agreement to keep the government funded.
The last time the government shut down, it was December of 2018. It lasted 35 days, the longest in U.S. history. Now, after yesterday, the Senate failing to pass that short-term continuing resolution that would have funded the government through mid-December, we're looking at hundreds of thousands of government employees that will be furloughed. This time, some may even be let go. Now, let's break that vote down. It was 55 to 45, falling short of the necessary 60 votes to pass. 3 Democrats voted with Republicans: John Fetterman, Catherine Cortez Masto, and independent Senator Angus King, who caucuses with Democrats.
Fox's Griff Jenkins on Capitol Hill. Republicans say they are open to discussing the extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies, but not while the government is shut down. Hundreds of anti-ICE demonstrators returning to Chicago and shutting down a major street to protest the Trump administration's mass deportation effort. Federal agents carried out a targeted immigration enforcement operation against suspected gang members on Tuesday. Over 24 people were taken into custody as a result. And Turning Point USA, in their first event in Utah since their founder Charlie Kirk was assassinated, saw a crowd of 6,500 people on Tuesday, the largest for an event on one of their tours. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. The Dow is down 118 points, 46,397. The S&P 500 also down 28 points, 6,688. And the NASDAQ is in the red, 117 points, 24,679. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Luxury awaits you at Tom Roush Lincoln and Fishers. Come see the full line of breathtaking Lincoln vehicles at Indiana's premier Lincoln dealership. From the moment you arrive at Tom Roush Lincoln, you'll know you've arrived. Shop over 200 new Lincolns in our state-of-the-art family-owned and operated dealership with no pressure. Just the award-winning service and respect you deserve, plus complimentary pickup and delivery for service. Luxury awaits you at Tom Roush Lincoln and Fishers.
Pat Sullivan here for Gutter Helmet. Are you still putting screens on your gutters? You know, if the holes are too big, debris gets in and you're still cleaning your gutters. If the holes are too small, it sits on top and now you're cleaning the screens. I have Gutter Helmet on my home and it has no holes, slots, or screens. It keeps the debris out and the water in. Since 1981, Gutter Helmet has been America's #1 choice for gutter protection. Right now, Gutter Helmet is offering a 17% discount plus 12 months no interest financing if paid in full within 12 months. Call 800-5HELMET, that's 800-5HELMET, to schedule a free estimate. 17% off, restrictions apply, and cannot be combined with other offers. Call Gutter Helmet today at 800-5HELMET. That's 800-5HELMET, or gutterhelmetindy.com, and never clean your gutters again.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. You can say goodbye to cracked, stained, and dirty old floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out the color. Upgrade your home today by calling Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. And they come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. The phone number, 877-417-0635. You can find them online, too. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com.
He pulls a prayer book out of his sleeping bag. Preacher lights up a butt and takes a drag.
Casey, the Carmel mayor is in the crosshairs, and you know how I get when one of my enemies is vulnerable.
What are you talking about, Rob?
It's the Kendall Casey. You might be saying, well, didn't you just do a topic on the mayor of Carmel and what a dumpster fire that city's turning out to be? Why, yes, we did, and we're going to do another one because I can't stand the mayor of Carmel.
It's a widening schism. That's what it's being called.
We found on the fly. We found a Carmel resident to express his dismay and embarrassment.
We got a guy for everything.
Jim Merritt, 30 years in the Indiana Senate. Hello,
Robert.
I thought we were going to talk about, and we may get to it here, this property tax article James Briggs had in the Indy Star, but you are dismayed. So, in case you missed the opening of the show, Carmel is in complete chaos now. The mayor, Sue Finkham, remember her, Casey? She's the one who went to the property tax hearing.
Yes.
And then basically let everybody believe that the firemen were going to cease to exist.
Correct. She led the charge, and as Carmel goes, the rest of the state follows.
And then she got lippy with me on social media, and anyway, that's all water.
You don't win on that.
I also don't forget. Yeah, you fought with the wrong guy, lady. As my old man and I were talking about this yesterday, you tell me this, Jim, because you got more life experience than I do. Spite is a heck of a motivator.
It's a great motivator.
Absolutely. Spite. I don't have a whole lot of that, but it certainly rubs off on me.
Well, I do when it comes to the government, Jim. So, Sue, you're about to see spite, lady. Anyway, all kidding aside, this is a bad look for Carmel, where the mayor, Sue Finkham, is like emailing these council members, multiple council members, lecturing them about their decorum. And the worst thing I can find in this article, You Are Current, which is the townie newspaper in Carmel, Hamilton County, has this article, is that one of these council members, I think Matthew Snyder is the guy's name, told one of the city employees that she got, quote, all dolled up for a TV interview. That's the worst you can find, and that's what you're spending your time on. Lady, get to work. You're the Carmel resident. You pay taxes there. What say you?
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, I want to be safe. I want great schools. I don't want any chuckles. And Carmel brings all that, and we're tripping over ourselves in this regard. And not only the Current, but also the Indianapolis Star. Jake Allen writes an article today in today's Star about a real breakdown in communication and trust. Carmel City Council spars with mayor.
So wait, there's a pile-on on the mayor of Carmel?
There is a pile-on.
Let's go, Indy Media. Let's go. Keep it rolling.
Yeah. They are in such a twirl right now, Casey, with property taxes. And
we talked about that yesterday. Yeah.
And as well as the council, and they're trying to get away from the Brainerd mayoral time of 24 years. And I expect more from the Carmel mayor and the council to be working together and to get tripped up with something that is kind of an HR type of situation. And we don't know what the whole situation is with the Councilman Matt Schneider.
Yeah, but it's not, we kind of do. The article goes into, it's not like he was sending nudes, or it was not like he was groping people, or it's not like he was making comments about their body, or like there's nothing. Look, I got all dolled up today to come in and do this show with Casey.
And you look spectacular.
Thank you. Yes, I'm not going to send it. I mean, it's just, she being the mayor of Carmel, looks so pathetically weak on this. Now, if she got something else in her, some other arrow in her quiver, okay, but you would have thought it would have come out in this piece. It's a very detailed piece. Like that. Shouldn't you be focused on doing things for the people rather than whining that some guy said, oh, you got all dolled up?
With the enormous responsibilities the mayor and the council have in regards to getting a budget, and with what Senate Bill 1 that the Indiana General Assembly and the governor have saddled the local governments, and that is a very difficult spaghetti bowl to explain. With those responsibilities and there's no time for situations like this that are unveiled to the city of Carmel and the state of Indiana, because the city of Carmel is a lovely place to live, but everybody knows it. And the stress on the mayor and the council, this should not be happening.
So not a top priority.
This ought to be at the bottom of the list, and we shouldn't be talking about it. We ought to be talking about how they make a budget.
Okay, you bring up a great point. So why are we talking about it? Why is she making
Because
this?
I can't stand am the mayor of Carmel, Casey, and I'm not letting this one go, lady.
I know why we're talking about it. I mean, what is her motivation? Why is she making this an issue?
Well, you don't know how this popped up, but maybe the email was maybe Matt Snyder gave it to the Current, gave it to the Star. We don't know how this became public. Obviously, everything comes out of the wash, but this is real time.
Mm-hmm.
This just happened.
Right.
And so this is sex appeal. This is something we can talk about. Maybe it's deflection that the mayor's trying to do. So we're talking about this and not the shiny object with the government.
I just can't believe Casey
process of property taxes and what they need to get done at the council.
Jim Merritt is one of the most esteemed citizens our state has ever had, and they are totally embarrassing him. The mayor of Carmel is totally embarrassing him by this horrible behavior. She really should be ashamed of herself for forcing Jim Merritt, one of the finest, most decent humans I have ever met, to have to come on and talk about this garbage.
Do we think that she is trying to use this to get her way? Do we think that maybe there's something more nefarious going on and she's trying to protect her employees?
I don't know. I don't know about all the underbrush, but as a Republican, and I'm not I'm a Republican citizen now. I look at the next election, and it's going to be really quick in 2027, and maybe the legislature comes back in 26 and irons out some things in regards to property taxes. But Carmel is a purple city. Fishers is a purple city. Not so much Noblesville, not so much Westfield, but when you look at how hard Sue Finkham ran for re-election and a quality Democrat opponent in 2027 in many of these council districts, because really when you look at it, I live in West Carmel. The precinct I live in, Todd Young tied with his opponent when he won re-election.
Well, those people are getting smart over there.
Well, it's becoming
they're waking up.
If the council, and I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to the mayor, if you don't start working together and get something done and not have this underbrush that's embarrassing, you're going to end up with a Democrat city. And we don't want a Democrat city in Carmel.
Jim Merritt is our guest, 30 years in the Indiana Senate. You were also a county party chairman, right?
Former.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marion
County.
Yes.
You ever ban someone from a Lincoln Day?
You know, when you got banned from a Lincoln Day dinner, I think the Republican Party should be, and in many quarters is a freedom of speech party. And
is it?
Well, that's what I believed, and I think, and I'm talking to all 92 county chairmen and the state chairman now. I would have you as a speaker.
Yes, thank you.
And you know, and have some truths. I mean, the Republican Party has gotten used to Donald Trump being dynamic and being ruthless and being to the point, and the Republican Party in Indiana and all the counties have gotten used to truths and putting it all on the line, and they ought to have you as a speaker.
Are you worried that, because you know what Diego is?
Yeah.
I would assume, you being the decent member of humanity that you are, there's zero way if he's the Republican nominee you're voting for that.
Well,
are you worried you would then be a Republican in bad standing?
Well, I think first of all, Diego and Todd Rokita. And
you're mean to him too.
Yeah, and as well as the lieutenant governor, they are children of the convention, and should Braun support or not support the lieutenant governor, he more than likely is going to be our lieutenant governor candidate, and Diego will be the Secretary of State, and Todd Rokita.
Yeah, but I mean, we know what Diego is. You know what Diego is.
Right.
And so if you come out and say, hey, I'm not going with that, you're theoretically, based on the rules that have been laid out to us, no one's been more Republican for 50 plus years than you.
Yeah.
But if you say,
1974.
If you say, hey, this guy's just blatant unethical behavior and thumbing his nose at everyone is too much for me, I'm out on this dude, then you're not a Republican in good standing by
you're right. I'm considered independent.
I mean, isn't that ridiculous that that's your party, Jim?
Yeah, and you know, this brush up in Carmel, probably will create some primaries.
Yeah.
In the Republican Party. Primary fights in these council seats.
We can get our bow-bye badges. We'll go wear them together. We'll go to the events. It'll be fun.
You are not in good standing when you say things like that.
And that's, somebody, I'm sure he won't care. It was Shelton. David Shelton told me the other day, he's like, this doesn't even affect you. You're not a precinct committeeman or an office holder. Like, what are these people
You're never going to be a delegate.
Right? Like, I would give you people 3 cents if my life depended on it. Like, get out of here.
We need good thinking. We need logical thinking Republicans to come to the fore.
Jim
Reasonable.
Merritt, find him on Twitter at Jim_Merritt on the Merritt in the Morning podcast, YouTube, as well as Facebook. A Republican in good standing, a man of good standing in all of our hearts. Yes.
For now, thank you, Jim. It is Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel's show this afternoon. The biggest stories in Indy. Tony Kennett will call in. And will the unisex bathroom across from us finally explode? Find out this afternoon.
Hey, ladies, are you interested in self-protection but don't know where to begin, or maybe you're too nervous to enter the gun store alone? Well, let me introduce you to Premier Arms. They're more than just a gun store. Premier Arms is a supportive community dedicated to empowering women. They have a friendly, educated staff, and they'll provide personalized guidance, ensuring you feel confident in your firearm choice. It's Casey Daniels letting you know Premier Arms is where female gun owners are supported. Call them today, 317-858-3030.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaimed their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hammer and Nigel are going live this week from Coach's Tavern this Friday, brought to you by the Finnish Long Drink. Swing by for awesome drink specials, grab some WIBC swag, and join the party all evening long.
Casey, something happened during our break, and we have to stop everything we were doing on this show, and we have to get some sort of clarification of this.
Moving.
You're still here.
I know, up north.
No, you're still here. Like, you're still on the program with us. That's the voice of Jim Merritt.
Oh.
Because you have information for us. I have to introduce you. We're moving soon. Every week they tell us we'll be moving soon. But for now, we're still here.
You're talking about the studios moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
I'm never leaving. They're going to drag me out of here in handcuffs. But you said something that blew my mind during the break because people are like, why is Jim Merritt back again? This was totally impromptu. I had no idea this was going to happen. But I said, our public has to know about this. This is life-altering because now I may get in on this.
Right. You're like, Casey, get out of the way. I'm in.
So you are on this board that's going to pick the new IURC commissioners.
I am the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate and the minority leaders all have nominations for the nominating. It's called the nominating committee, the Indiana Utility Regulatory Nominating Committee.
These are the people that decide the utility rates. In part,
yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they decide everything utility, everything environmental, everything the state.
This commission has to approve all the rate increases.
Correct.
So this is a huge deal now because
it's an enormous responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're on this committee that's going to make recommendations
to the governor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of who these people should be.
Yes.
And you got is it 3 people you got to pick? Is
yes.
that right? Okay.
Yes.
And so
the chairman is leaving in December.
Okay, last time you were here, we had said Casey should totally apply for this position. We went through the qualifications. We read the questionnaire.
The application.
Right.
I thought this was some like being on your town planning commission where it's like $100 a meeting. And then you just casually, on your way out, you were leaving the studio, because I asked Casey, I said, hey, have you applied?
Have you done that yet? And I was like, I don't want to work that hard for no money. And you were like, oh, no, they get paid.
And I was like, well, like $100 a meeting, because in my mind, people would be in it for the decency of the service. And you're like, oh, no, son.
Sit down.
These people
I say that a lot.
These people get 6 figures. I was like, I know you got your faculties together. You're in very good shape for your age. I was like, but I wonder if Jim's losing it. And then we looked up the salary, and according to the Google search, it lists the salary as $158,664, which does seem to be in line with the. I'm trying to do this on the fly here, but the other reporting had these salaries in the 135 from a couple years ago. These people are making bank on this IURC.
It's an enormous job because obviously,
well, they stink at it.
The utility rates are so very important, and we've seen that. And politics and public policy, everything has evolved into energy. You see it from the governor on down. You see the president with nuclear power. You see energy is the number one issue of our time now, and not just keeping lights on, but powering everything that is going forward that have enormous.
Wait, but how much time is involved in this?
I think
I could do this show and then go do the IURC stuff.
No, you couldn't.
Why not?
Well, first of all, I've always looked at it as a 24/7 job. You work Monday through Friday and sometimes over the weekend because you have these responsible, these enormous responsibilities, and there's an incredible amount of reading. You have to be
These people are just rubber stamping rate increases. What have they been doing the past?
Right. I mean, there was a
4 or 5 years?
report that came out that just said that the clean energy growth in Indiana has been really slow. So they're talking about solar and wind.
Yes.
So utility rates, I mean, that's like he said.
Okay, what would you ask me? Like, what's a question? Like, you're going to interview me. Like, what would you ask me?
With Abdul's friend John Schmitz is going to apply.
Oh,
and so.
So that's my competition. Sorry, Casey. I'm in on this now for $150.
Well, I know. It's what I say. You pushed me out of the way.
When I film the interview, is that public?
It's all public.
So if I went, we could film me being interviewed by the IURC
this will
board?
all be transparent. You'll be able to see everything.
But I don't necessarily get an interview just because I submit an application.
Well, that's correct. Yes.
So I'd have your support for an interview.
Well, of course.
I'm asking you right now for your support.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Publicly.
Yes.
In front of everyone.
For an interview.
For an interview, not a recommendation for the job. Now, at the end of the day, Rob, it is the governor, Mike Braun, who will appoint these people.
Oh, no, but...
So regardless of what Jim Merritt says, he could sing your praises all day long. The governor could still turn around and say, oh, no, you're number one in my
but think of the pain we can inflict in that process. Okay, so what would you ask me? Like, what's a question?
Well, one thing that I believe in the future is what you think 5 years from now is our utilities going to be the sole source of energy? Are we going to deregulate it so that an entity could come into the state and bring their own power, for instance, a gas plant or a micro nuclear plant, and develop. And really, if you're going to have a data center, you're going to have to figure out a way that you're going to have to work with communities.
Okay, what is your title? Do I say Mr. Committeeman? Is that how I would address you?
Yeah, yes. I don't know. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to titles anymore.
Well, I'm very professional now that I know 158K is on the line.
It's on the line, right.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Committeeman, my primary focus, as should be anyone who serves on this board, should be the affordability of living. We are literally pricing people out of the affordability of living. And the onus is on the General Assembly to not approve projects through their quasi-shadow government entity, giving away hundreds of millions of our tax dollars that drain the resources. Mr. Committeeman, I have not finished my answer to this question.
Sir,
did I get the job?
Yeah. And sir, what do you think about the reliability issue? Because there are places in the Geist area that if the wind blows, power goes out. And so what do you think, sir, about the reliability of power of your lights? California has brownouts. Mm-hmm. Are you ready for Indiana to have brownouts?
Look, Mr. Committeeman, I think coal works, and I think we've proven coal works, and I'm not going to let our power sources be beholden to a bunch of hippie tree hugger people. So, Mr. Committeeman, I'm all in on coal, and if you don't like that, can I have this job?
No, wait. Mr. Committeeman, I have a question for you.
I'd say ask the governor.
Yeah.
Do you think we need to explore nuclear more?
You know my position.
I do.
This was fascinating. So you have to apply for this now, Casey.
Well, we know his sweet spot.
Yeah.
We know the buttons to press.
158K, is that your sweet spot?
Jim Merritt, this was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
It is Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
From the moment our eyes met, I knew it was love at first sight. She had such a playful sense of humor. And when I look in that sparkle in her eyes, I just melt. My folks always said to find the girl I can't live without. And my heart says she's the one. So I'm going to Pierce Jewelers in Carmel for that perfect diamond engagement ring. Nothing says I love you more than an engagement ring from Pierce Jewelers. She pierced my heart. Now I'm going to pierce hers. Shop local. Shop smart. Shop Pierce Jewelers.
Hey guys, it's Rob for our friend Mark Dietel. You know, Zillow ranks Indianapolis #2 among 2025's hottest markets. Home values have risen and are holding strong. Now is a great time to sell. Hire the team with proven systems to maximize your equity. Sell your home with Mark Dietel. Perhaps you're worried you need costly repairs or upgrades to sell your home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Luke and Emma in Franklin had to say about working with Mark Dietel. We began building our new dream home, and we needed to sell our old place at a great price to pay for it. The Mark Dietel team made it easy with multiple offers in the first weekend and closed in 25 days at the price we wanted. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com.
Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Owner Robert Kirby says there are advantages to adding on mini splits to help heat and cool hard-to-reach spaces.
They can see if there's a heat load in this side of the room or the other side of the room and concentrate their heating or cooling to that side of the room. And you can use them in spaces where there's not always a lot of room for ductwork. So big space savings on that.
Just go to KirbyHeating.com. Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning is your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, reaction from an Indiana Democratic congressman to the government shutdown that went into effect at midnight. What happened to an IMPD officer yesterday while driving? A new report from IMPD 2 on homicides so far this year. And did the Fever punch their ticket to the WNBA Finals last night? You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers put in limbo as the government shuts down. I'm Dave Anthony.
The last time the government shut down, it was December of 2018. It lasted 35 days, the longest in U.S. history.
Fox's Griff Jenkins at the Capitol, where Senate Democrats blocked passing a House-approved bill to provide 7 weeks of government funding.
What comes next is a little unclear. Just moments ago, we caught up with Speaker Mike Johnson. Here's what he had to say.
They decided that giving free health care to illegal aliens is a higher priority, apparently, than keeping vital services going for the American people. That's clearly what's happening here.
Speaker Johnson also told me that he's open to negotiate with Democrats on health care tax credits, but not while the government is shut down.
Later this morning, the Senate plans more votes to try again to pass funding, but Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Republicans are to blame, refusing to negotiate with him on health care.
There was no input from Democrats, not a single line in their bill had input from Democrats.
Now, the shutdown affects a lot of federal employees. Some could even be laid off. Others remain working without paychecks.
Mail, Social Security checks, and student loan bills are still being delivered. Airports are running. Those workers are considered essential and are expected to show up unpaid for now. Food inspections continue. Internal Revenue Service employees stay on the job for at least 5 business days because of special funding passed in 2022. Tariff revenues still being collected. The Labor Department will not be releasing new economic data like jobs reports.
That's Fox's Chris Foster. Federal law enforcement will continue in the shutdown, though the protests against immigration raids rage on in Chicago.
What do we do? Stand up like that! The protest started near Trump Tower. The rally was held one day after Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker said the National Guard could be coming to the Windy City at the request of DHS to protect ICE personnel and facilities. ICE is currently using Naval Station Great Lakes, home to Navy boot camp, for a hub for its Chicago operations.
That's Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're blaming each other. It's sunny and 66 on Monument Circle. High in the low 80s today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:02. The U.S. federal government officially shut down at midnight, with Senate Democrats voting to defeat a bill that would have funded the government through November 21st. Republicans blame Democrats for not supporting a clean, nonpartisan funding bill, while Democrats urge Republicans to negotiate. Some Indiana lawmakers expressed their views on the shutdown, including Democrat Andre Carson.
Don't let them try to fool you. Republicans are in charge of every branch of government. This shutdown is entirely on Republicans.
It's the 4th government shutdown in the 21st century and the first since the 35-day shutdown back in 2019. An IMPD officer is hospitalized after being involved in a car crash Tuesday night. Another person was involved in the incident. Both are reported to be in stable condition. No other details about the crash have been released at this time. IMPD says nearly half of 2025 homicides have been cleared. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Indianapolis police say they are seeing more clear patterns in this year's homicide cases, and it's not just about the numbers. A lot of the violence comes from personal arguments which spiral out of control. Some cases involve robberies, and others are instances of people just caught in the crossfire, victims from young kids to older adults, and the weapons used vary from guns and knives to fists. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Johnson County Coroner Mike Pruitt is back at work after a 30-day leave of absence. Pruitt is currently under a state police investigation for allegations that he bought alcohol for a 17-year-old girl. Since coming back, 5 deputy coroners, including the chief deputy coroner, have resigned and don't plan to return. The season is over for the Indiana Fever as they lost to the Las Vegas Aces Tuesday night, 107-98 in overtime. It was the decisive Game 5 of the WNBA semifinals. Through the ups and downs that the season has brought to the team, forward Aaliyah Boston, though, is staying positive.
This has been my
my best year. Seriously, I think with the people court, off the court, in the locker room, we just talked about how special this group was and how we're always going to be connected. And honestly, that's how I feel like these women became my sisters.
The Fever in the season, having made it to the semifinals for the first time in over a decade. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Kendall Casey back in 1 minute.
Retirement isn't just about reaching the finish line, it's about knowing how to play the next movement. Without a plan, your savings can feel like noise instead of music. I'm Jason Hutchins with Guardian Wells Financial. I've seen too many families head into retirement without the guidance they need. That's why I wrote Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. I'd like to mail you a copy at no cost. Call 317-660-0929. That's 660-0929. Inside this book, you'll find real-world strategies on turning savings into income, making smarter Social Security decisions, and reducing a bite of taxes in retirement. Call 317-660-0929. That's 660-0929 for your book today. Don't wait. Supplies are limited, and when they're gone, they are gone. Orchestrate your retirement. Discover the rhythm of a confident future.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wells Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
Call 317-660-0929.
This hour powered by Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard Air dealer.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
You made a fascinating point during our break.
I tend to do that when we're off the air. It's the wrong place for it.
You know, but you are spot on with this. Now, I don't think there's any winner in this. I think the losers are the American people, whether the Republicans get their way and the government reopens or the Democrats get their way and it stays shut down. Because, again, here's what we're talking about. The Republican Party is running around and almost in unison doing a victory lap, claiming they're the good guys for approving Biden-level spending. I think what? It was Massey. Did Sparks vote against it? I can't remember. Maybe that was it. In the Senate, it's Rand Paul. So the Republican Party, almost in unison, is telling you how they're the good guys in the equation. The party of low taxes and limited government is running around telling you how they've done you a huge service by approving Biden-level spending. And now I guess that's the new baseline. So once again, the Republicans have lied to you. Now, somebody will get very angry at me for pointing that out. However, the Democrats have now said the Biden-level spending not enough for us. We need to go Biden-level plus. And you made a great point that you said that, hey, this is happening solely because Chuck Schumer is afraid of getting primaried by AOC.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you know what? So, first of all, the Republicans, their messaging is a little different than Biden-level spending. They're calling it a clean, nonpartisan funding bill.
But we're telling you, we're telling you the truth, which is that's what this means. It means what Joe Biden wanted, the spending levels of Joe Biden are almost remain fully intact. That's what this is. We cut through the crap and clean. That is what clean means. So Biden and most of his policies still in effect. Not all of them, but most of them. And spending remains the same.
Now, during the top of the hour, I believe it was the newscast was playing a clip from Chuck Schumer. And I just was thinking, this is one guy from New York who is responsible for this entire shutdown because he is afraid of losing his position as senator to AOC. So he's bending to the leftists.
Sure. But, you and I have talked about this.
He's afraid he's going to lose that base.
You and I have talked about this before. Because of the shift, there have been multiple shifts in this country, especially over really the past 20 years. One has been the art of gerrymandering inside the states themselves, in which we're seeing this potentially play out, which I know we're going to talk about here in a minute, in Indiana, where they're rigging these maps in all these states across the country, where if you win a primary, in a lot of cases, it's very hard for you to lose a general election. We're seeing more and more congressional districts, state house districts, state senate districts, where as long as you win your primary, you're home free. Now, there are in Indiana some exceptions. The Zionsville, Carmel type state house, state senate districts are somewhat competitive. That they rigged that house district so it's not as competitive as it used to be. But we've also seen a shift from state to state in terms of people leaving states if they don't like the politics. And so you've seen a de facto gerrymandering there too for the senators, where there's very few. I don't know if there are any split states. Well, I think Pennsylvania is a split. There may be a couple of split states left, but not very many. Used to be all the time, including places like Indiana. You'd see, hey, Evan Bayh and Richard Lugar, right? Or you'd see, Joe Donnelly and it was Lugar, and then it was Young, or whatever, right? You don't see that anymore. The states have largely, by flight, gerrymandered themselves, and so a Schumer knows, I can't lose a general election. My extremism doesn't matter. I have to get through my primary, and I know I'm signing my political, career ender if I don't shut down the government.
Right, because he will lose his base and therefore lose to AOC.
So I view this as a good thing because you could keep the government shut down for 6 months and we'd be fine as a society. But for the people who believe in the idea that we need government, these people who claim to crave the middle or whatever nonsense they're spewing, the extremism now on both sides is so prevalent that you're never going to get truly, or you're rarely going to get truly bipartisan public policy anymore because the politicians have been de-incentivized to do it. What possible reason could Schumer have to open the government up? What is it? Somebody show it to me until he gets what he wants. He has none because he will not be blamed. They will blame Trump for taking health care or whatever the thing is, and people will buy into that. And on the other side, I guess the Republicans could find a way to spend even more money, but they're singing this song right now that they're the good guys for keeping the Biden level spending going forward. And so nobody's incentivized to do anything. So maybe I'll get my way and the government will just stay shut down. That'd be wonderful.
750,000 federal employees. Is that the number? I believe that's how many people it's affecting. Of course, keep in mind, Congress, they're still getting paid. So they're okay.
Yeah. And now, if these people get permanently fired, I'll believe we're getting serious. But as long as these workers, because it always happens, right, where they, get furloughed, whatever, and then they come back, and don't they get their back pay most of the time? So, what are we doing here? Everybody's going to get made whole.
You know what we may not get in October is a jobs report.
Yeah. I think after
Are you worried about that?
Well, I think the one
not getting the jobs report.
The one a couple years ago, whether that was a couple years now, it's been 6 or 7 years ago now. 2019, I think, was the last time this happened, and Trump caved, and ultimately nothing changed, and we kept having trillion-dollar annual deficits, and then COVID happened after that, and then we went to multi-trillion-dollar annual debt. Nothing ever changes. Our government is too invested in the legalized vote buying process to ever stop. Now, it's never going to stop. There's too many promises that have been made. Think about what we talked about here in Indiana. Where Indiana, in a rare act of government accountability from the Republicans who run this state, tried to get the work requirements and Medicaid changes made for 26, and the Republican federal government came in and said, can't do that till 27. Why? The only logical reason, they don't want people to lose those freebies ahead of the midterm vote. So they're not about better government. They're about giving and buying as many votes as they possibly can. Both sides just do it to a different set of people.
So the leader, John Thune, he said that negotiations on health care, they're not going to happen while the government's closed. And Mike Johnson also said he has no plans to reconvene the House for any new proposal.
Well, okay, he is doing something pretty gross, though, by not swearing that woman in.
You're talking about the woman in Arizona?
Yeah, so there was a special election. Somebody passed away. Woman runs. Democrat woman wins. And they are refusing to swear her in, not because it would affect any of this. That's bad enough, right? Like, people have elections. They have a right to representation. As soon as you win, you should be able to be sworn in and go represent your people. regardless of party. You don't like the outcome of the election, do better job. You elect better people. But they are deliberately not swearing this woman in because she will be the 218th signature on the discharge of the Epstein stuff. And they do not want that coming out. I mean, the Republicans now are all in on the Epstein cover-up, and they are doing it right in front of everybody by refusing to swear this woman in so they can wait another week or two before they have to get this discharge thing, because Massey and Ro Khanna, who is a California, I think is where he's a U.S. rep at, had teamed together. Republican Thomas Massey, Ro Khanna, Democrat, had teamed together. They'd gotten enough Republicans to agree to this for this discharge petition to let all the Epstein stuff, to force all the Epstein stuff to come out. And Johnson does not want that to happen, which should be a giant red flag to everybody, to the point he is denying this woman the ability to represent her constituency. Now, all those people got to keep paying their taxes, right?
Yeah.
But they don't have any representation right now, and it's solely because he doesn't want the Epstein stuff to get out.
And you got to ask why.
Sure. What possible reason? I mean, look, even if she was the deciding vote on the budget, or the continuing resolution, or whatever they're calling this thing now. She has every right to be sworn in and to represent her people because they're all paying taxes. They deserve representation. But because we don't want her to vote in a certain way because it's going to do something we don't want, we're going to deny these people that. That's your government right there. It's both sides. Both sides would do it. They're all just disgusting.
Eventually, he's going to have to do it. Eventually.
Well, sure, but I mean, I guess it gives him 2 weeks or a week and a half or whatever it is.
Kicking the can down the road.
To try to
They're really good at that.
And think about this. It's about not wanting the truth to come out about Jeffrey Epstein. How insane is that?
Speaking about truth coming out, there's now a watchdog group called Count Us In. They filed a public records request, and they're seeking documents for any discussion between Governor Mike Braun's administration, and the White House in regards to redistricting.
All right, let's take a break because I want to get into this because Braun stooged on himself a couple weeks ago.
Right, he said consequences.
And now this group's going to call his bluff.
Right, they want to know exactly what was said, and that's on the way. From 93 WIBC.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the Morning News. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
Hey guys, it's Rob, and if you got young people in your house, listen to this. You know, it came out over the past really couple weeks in the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk about how young people are opening up to the idea of faith like never before, and that is coinciding with the big event that Life Church does every year. It's their 4th annual Truth Conference, where they open it up just for teens. And they have 3 main sessions: live worship, breakout sessions where they can ask tough questions about God, the Bible, culture, and relationships. It also has great food, amazing prizes, fun games, and a free arcade and coffee bar. So it's a great opportunity if you got a young person in your house who has questions about faith, who's open to faith, to get them to this event. It's the 4th annual Truth Conference, Life Church, this weekend. Learn more about it on the web, lifechurchin.com.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months, No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Up to 50% off and 2.99% financing, plus receive an additional $550 off your project.
Because at B Windows,
we mean business. We mean business.
Okay, so this group is calling Braun's bluff on the, I guess they're alleged threats. I don't even know. Okay, so Mike Braun, the governor of Indiana. I mean, they are just pulling stuff out of their backside at this point on reasons to have this redistricting special session. It is abundantly clear almost none of these lawmakers are getting any sort of large-scale support for it. Not a single one of them has been able to produce, hundreds or thousands of emails and phone calls and blah, blah, blah. And as we laid out yesterday, Trump's approval, while above water in Indiana, certainly isn't where his election was, and certainly isn't where you would think in a deep red Republican state a Republican president would be. And so they are just grasping at straws on reasons to have this redistricting because the maps not that these people have any semblance of decency anymore or honor, but as that pathological liar Craig Haggard, state rep, said on our show before he quickly changed his mind, or his mind was told to change. The maps are very fair. The maps were very well done. Indiana is one of the few states in the union that didn't have any sort of lawsuits affiliated with their maps. They're drawn. I mean, Indiana, realistically, if you look at our elections, is probably a 6-3 Republican state. The maps make them 7-2. They altered the maps in 21 to make Victoria Sparks district less competitive to keep that district red. Nobody threw a fit about it because that happens all over the country. It was within the guidelines of believability, and everybody went their merry way. Now they're trying to rig the maps further to 8-1 or 9-0. They can't give you a logical reason why, other than the governor came out and stooged on himself and basically said, hey, if we don't do this, Trump's going to screw us over.
Yeah, he said there will be consequences, didn't he?
And people were like, wait, the Republican president is going to stick it to a deep red state that he claims to have such an affinity for? He chose his last vice president from the state. We're supposed to believe that you're doing this because Trump threatened you in some fashion. And so this nonprofit group has popped up. Well, I guess I don't know if they're a nonprofit. Count Us In is the name of the group. And they're basically saying, okay, put up or shut up.
Yeah, so they filed that public records request, and they want to see all documents about redistricting discussions between Mike Braun's administration and the White House. And they say they want to uncover any federal pressure or threats related to redrawing Indiana's congressional maps. Here's the thing, though. They're not going to find anything. Do you honestly think that Donald Trump was emailing Mike Braun?
No, I don't think Braun was emailing Trump, but I think you have what they're searching for are these staffer people who are dumb enough, quite frankly, to put it in an email and say, hey, this project.
That's a different point, yeah.
I think that's what they're going for. I don't think they think it's going to be, Trump at whitehouse.gov, sending Braun emails.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that they think that there's probably some, if indeed there was a threat look, I just think they're afraid to anger Trump. I think it's just that simple. I think they have no good reason to do this. They've searched for months now to try to find one. They can't sway the public on it. There are hardcore right people who want it. I don't understand why. I don't understand why you would give up your decency and integrity to get another Jefferson Shreve or Jennifer Ruth Green type person, why you would give yourself away for that. That's not going to get you anything. But other than, maybe the hardcore 25, 30% Uber base people, there's just not any excitement or enthusiasm for it. And so Braun, because he's a horrible public speaker and he doesn't think fast on his feet, stooged on himself, whether he was just making it up, would that to be even worse, or there actually was some sort of threat. Maybe we'll get to the bottom of it now.
Yeah, the founder of the group said that full transparency is the foundation of accountability. So what's in the request? The public records request asks for any references to federally funded programs, initiatives, or waivers, and possible threats to delay, stall, or cancel them if redistricting isn't pursued.
And let's come back to this. My objection to this is not about the Democrats. It's about if you just keep giving things to the Republicans, they will never get any better. If you just hand them another U.S. House seat, how does that make them enact policies that earn the right to be there? If you just hand it by rigging the map, how do we ever think spending is going to get any better? How do we ever think that the crony capitalism stuff's ever going to get any better? You're not making our government any better by sticking one more Republican stooge in Washington, D.C. You're just sticking one more person that's going to do whatever Mike Johnson tells them to do. They're not going to let some outsider win that seat. They already know who they want for that seat in the first congressional district. Depending on what they're planning on doing, they've probably got targets for however they're going to carve up the rest of these seats if there's an additional one. That is what blows my mind about these people that are so invested in this. If you keep it's no different than raising your kids. You have to discipline your children. You have to show them there are consequences for their actions. And the Republicans in this state never feel any consequences for their bad government. And I don't know why that's so hard for people to grasp, that until they start not getting their way on things, they're going to just keep screwing you over.
So what are the next steps? Indiana law requires only acknowledgement within 7 days of the records request. They don't have to do a prompt release on that. And the governor's office has acknowledged the request. Yeah, we got your request.
Now they have 30 days, I think, to fulfill the request. However, the problem is the public access counselor is so far behind because they, got rid of the guy that was in there before, because the legislature gutted the authority of the public access counselor because the legislature got mad about a ruling that he made that they didn't like. So instead of just being like, hey, maybe we should do a better job of governing, they just changed the rules of the game. So that guy was like, smooch my butt cheeks, I'm out of here. I'm not going to be
Jenny Ruby's in, right?
Yeah, and they've been over there, media outlets been over there, and the lights aren't on, and, nobody's home. And so I'm sure Braun's like, yeah, maybe we'll get around to that in 30 days. I mean, it's October.
Didn't he say he was going to have a special session in November if they were going to do it?
Org days in November, so that would be the logical.
Yeah.
Here's what I actually think is going on. I'm not sure they're that smart to put all this together, but I'll give them credit for it. If the people have to be here for Org Day anyway, one of the things they'll come back with and say is, we did the special session on Org Day to save you, the taxpayers, a bunch of money, because now we don't have to pay twice for these people to be here. You watch if they do this. Let's jot this down. It's 10/28 on October the 1st of 2025. If they do a special session, I think they'll do it on Org Day, and they will use the excuse of, we didn't have to pay the people to be here, so look at all the money we're saving you.
Right. You're here already, so you think they can get it done in one day?
Well, they shouldn't, because if you were actually drawing a map that was of the public interest, you would get public input. But they've already admitted this map is not of the public interest. It's of serving Donald Trump, who apparently they're very angry is going to take something away from them.
They already have the map drawn. Speaking of special sessions, let's talk about the one that Ed Delaney wants to have. Representative Ed Delaney.
Yeah, let's take a break. So Ed Delaney's a Democrat state rep. He's actually going to be here with us tomorrow to talk about this. Look, I'm sorry. The Democrats are completely insane on the social stuff, and it's too bad. It's actually too bad that they are so embedded themselves on the on-demand abortion stuff and the men playing women's sports and little kids being able to chop off their penises crowd, because they make a lot more sense on a lot of the fiscal stuff than the Republicans do in this state. And it's too bad they simply can't get elected. But let's talk about what Ed Delaney has proposed. There's a big article in the Capitol Chronicle about how bad the property tax bill is.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, we're here to support you every way we can. From answering your questions to helping coordinate appointments.
The whole team has been phenomenal there. They've made me feel like I'm a family member. I get hugs every time I go in. It's been such a blessing that the great care I've received has been so close to home.
Learn more about Community MD Anderson at ecommunity.com/cancer.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
That ends over the shutdown. It's sunny and 67 in downtown Indy. We'll get up to 82 for a high today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:30. The federal government being forced into a shutdown after members of Congress were unable to agree to funding legislation by midnight. House Speaker Mike Johnson told Fox Business's Mornings with Maria that Democrats are to blame, adding they are only doing it for political reasons.
They don't have any credible point to make. They're just trying to make a partisan political stand for their own purposes. And real people are going to be affected, and that's what's so frustrating about this whole thing.
Democrats argue, though, that millions of Americans are now facing rising health care costs or the loss of health care coverage entirely as a result of the president's signature big, beautiful bill. They want an extension of health care subsidies to address that. Getting an exclusive tour of the Dallas ICE facility. That was the site of a deadly shooting last week when a gunman opened fire and killed 2 detainees.
It was truly shocking just to see how many bullets hit this facility. The best way to really describe what we saw is these agents and detainees were under attack from almost every single angle and direction. The field office director gave us an exclusive tour inside.
This is where another gentleman over here was receiving first aid. I think we used every single first aid kit we had in the building.
Now, more than 100 employees typically work out of this ICE Dallas field office. Miraculously, none of those agents were hurt.
Fox's Brooke Taylor reporting the shooter fired from a nearby rooftop, and the FBI said he had bullet casings with anti-ICE messages written on them. The number of jobs created by private employers declined by 32,000 last month. ADP was expected to report job growth of about 50,000. And during a recent episode of Wheel of Fortune, a contestant made history by winning a little over $1 million, the largest in the show's history. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Kids back in school and out of your hair? Now it's time to take care of yours. Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has an offer that will help give you the softest hair, skin, and nails, plus give life to your appliances and fixtures. Yes, we're talking about water softeners. For the month of September, Hope will give you $500 off the purchase of a water softener plus carbon filter. So give yourself the gift of soft water and call Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today.
Who needs a Vegas trip to win big? McCordsville's got the jackpot right here. Financial Center, your newest credit union, is throwing a sidewalk series from September 30th through October 17th, every Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2. Play games, win prizes, and enter a giveaway for $1,000 cash. So skip the long flight and just join Financial Center on the sidewalk. Find out more and explore exclusive offers at fcfcu.com/McCordsville. Federally insured by NCUA. Giveaway terms and conditions apply.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
At Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling, our mission is to provide honest assessments and recommendations. We promise you'll never be sold something you don't need.
PricePointComfort.com. They are your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air dealer.
The Attorney General's Office, reuniting Hoosiers with over $1 million in unclaimed property every week. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov or text Tony Katz to 46220 today.
Okay, I'm going to earn my money here.
Oh, good.
Because
it's about time.
One of the things we do on this show, and I saw somebody post this in the YouTube chat yesterday, which you can watch our show on YouTube if you want. Just put Kendall and Casey in. They said, man, something to the effect of, I really dislike Rob, but I learn so much when I listen to the show, so I have to listen. That's fine.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have Rob Kendall.
Look, there is no program in Central Indiana that covers local government or explains local government like we do, and I think that's part of why we do as well as we do. And yes, there are many, many people who just hate my guts who listen every day because they do learn a lot. And so we'll do that here because you are about to get really screwed in so many ways. And it was interesting. I saw James Briggs did an article, friend of the show. Mm-hmm. He said something nice about me a couple weeks ago.
So now he's your friend?
Well, what was that? What was that he said? My career arc.
Career arc is the most interesting thing in Indiana media.
That's right. That's what he said. And it's hard to argue with that. But anyway, he had an article today about the ramifications of this property tax bill.
Mm-hmm.
The Senate Bill 1 that was signed that the governor refused to fight for the people on and just caved and, rolled over and played dead to the Indiana General Assembly. Now, special session to avoid making Trump mad for redistricting? Absolutely. To help you afford to stay in your home? No way. But one of the things that is fascinating about this bill is it's so bad that even though Briggs and I are on the total opposite ends of the political spectrum, and I've seen this with many, many people, Jesse Brown, the socialist on the Democrat socialist on the city county council, and I feel the same way. Like, everybody other than the General Assembly and the governor hate this bill.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's because their name's on it.
Well, right. And most of them have no idea what was in it. They can't tell you, including Braun himself. I guarantee. Okay, if Braun had to sit down here with us and he had to actually
explain it,
go through an interview with me, there's no way he wouldn't just fall apart, right? There's no way.
He won't do that.
No, he's never going to do that. But I'm saying he has no concept because Braun is a lazy governor and he is not interested in details. And that is, you cannot have either of those two things when dealing with property taxes.
He likes his helicopter, though.
He does like the title of governor, just like he liked the title of senator for a while. Point in all this is there's so many bad things in this property tax bill. The only benefit you're getting, is a rebate, right? It's $200 to $300 for most people. That's it, right? And there are so many potential pitfalls in this bill. First and foremost, there's nothing that stops the assessments from continuing to rise.
Correct.
Look, this was a pretty simple issue.
Didn't address that.
Well, the property taxes are super complex, but only because these people at the General Assembly have made them complex. But it actually was a simple issue to address. We have two problems that needed to be addressed with property taxes. One is, I reject the idea of property taxes, period. But if they're going to exist, and Jim Merritt will tell you this, we talked about State House happenings today at length when we recorded the program. The General Assembly, when they put the property tax caps into place, and he'll admit this now, he being Merritt, they should have addressed assessments. They didn't. However, assessments tended to grow, 1, 2, maybe 3% a year. You were looking at people getting, depending on the value of your home, $40, $50, $60 increase. Not great. Not acceptable, but certainly wasn't forcing people out of their homes like we're seeing today. They never anticipated you're going to see people's property taxes doubling or tripling over a 3-year period.
Right.
So that's the first problem that needed to be addressed. Braun initially addressed that by saying, hey, we're done here. We're resetting these rates to the 2021 bills, and that's what we're going off with. Okay, that's why we were on board with Braun, because that addressed the first thing. The second thing that needed to be addressed was capping the increases going forward, which Braun's initial bill did. This is why we supported Braun in the beginning, because his actual bill he put forward, now we could never have anticipated he didn't actually give a damn and wouldn't fight for it, but it's what do I have to go off of? The guy presented a bill. He was going across the state.
Addressed some of the problems, said he was going to fight.
I'm not the magnificent Karnak here, right? I can't see what's going to happen. The actual bill did those things. The problem in this, well, there's many problems, but this bill, so it gives you a couple $100 back. but it does nothing to curtail the growth in assessments. So you will keep seeing your bill go up, which means within 3, 4, 5 years, whatever rebate you've gotten is going to be washed away in these assessment increases. Now, on top of that, all these school districts, because the only thing they did to curb the school districts was say, now you got to go for referendums in the even number years, unless you're underhanded, such a strong word, unless you're creative people like the Avon school system and you just sprint to the finish line to get it this year. Okay, there's less of a chance they're gonna pass, but it's still people v. school system, and unless you got Rob Kendall in your town, good luck, right? It's a pick 'em. So a lot of chance you're going to have your rebates going to go away because of the assessments continuing to rise. Many school districts are going to pass referendums, so now you didn't get any reduction, and now you have a referendum, so taxes go up. And these towns who won't do referendums are going to raise your local income tax. So you're going to see higher property taxes and higher income taxes. And that's from the personal you pay side. The other side of this is now you have created mass havoc for these government entities because heaven forbid they be fiscally responsible and have gone in the 2020, 21, 22, 23. Hey, the gravy train may not last forever. We ought to put a few bucks back. They have just basically not only spent to the limit, but they bonded on it because that's what dollars actually do for communities. And this is important. Revenue to communities isn't actually about the amount of money they have in the moment. It's about the amount of money they can bond on because every dollar is worth X amount of dollars in the bond market. And so these local governments bond, many of them, to capacity or near capacity based on the dollars they have now. Well, once you've choked off some of those dollars, at least in the short term, because of the property tax reduction, they'll get it back eventually. Don't you worry. But in the short term, now they've got to play this wacky game of Jenga, right? Because they've bonded to capacity and they're going to have some sort of revenue reduction.
Right. Well, and that will affect their credit rating.
Potentially. Because, again, heaven forbid you have any sort of forethought and say maybe this won't last forever. We probably ought not to just spend it because we got it. We ought to put it away. Now, Ed Delaney, who's a Democrat state rep, he's been on our show before, was asked about this. He was at some sort of legislative conference. No, I don't. It was I don't know. He was at some sort of event, some big event, and he was, or was he just talking? No, this may have been just a direct interview with the Capitol Chronicle. I think this was just a direct interview with the Capitol Chronicle. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm talking to myself here. Luckily, no one's listening. Anyway, Ed Delaney, he's a state rep from Indianapolis, Democrat. He made a great point. He said, "Look, we shouldn't be having a special session for the redistricting stuff, because that's not affecting anybody. It's just doing the will of one guy in Washington, D.C. We should have a special session for property taxes. Now that we've had a chance to hear from all these people, we've seen all the damage it's going to do. Let's go back in, have a special session, and fix the property tax issue." And I bet that's not probably going to happen.
You think? Yeah, he said the law was not thought out, and he called for that special session.
So he's going to be with us tomorrow to talk about that. And we'll get into what like an actual special session on property taxes would look like. What does he think needs to be? Because Ed Delaney, to his credit, while he's a Democrat, he was the guy
who was making the most sense, it seemed like, during the whole process.
Yeah, he was the one who said, look, we've got whatever it is, 2,900 units of local government in Indiana. It's utterly ridiculous, which is the same thing that Kern and Shepard report said, commissioned by Mitch Daniels in the General Assembly almost 20 years ago, that there's zero reason for most townships to exist. There's zero reason many school systems can't consolidate. There's just all sorts of government that doesn't need to exist, which could save people a lot of money, which would then, at the very worst, allow those dollars to flow to governments that are actually performing for the people, and at the very best, put a few dollars back in our pockets.
Now, here's something to consider. The article says that there is a response from the GOP and that Travis Holdman, Senator Holdman, and the bill's author, and also Representative Jeff Thompson, are working on changes for 26.
Oh, jeez. How many times have they worked on this, Casey?
Yeah, they said that it does need revisions, and Holdman blamed misinformation from financial advisors for panicking the local officials. And he said misinformation from financial advisors, and he also said the rollout has been all over the board.
You rotten, you
He's blaming it on someone else. He was the author of the bill. And he's saying, well, we got some bad info.
We were screaming about this. See, this is why I am the way I am with these people. Because we were right again. These people, they bad-mouth me. What did Jim Merritt tell us earlier today about how he gets so much grief simply coming on this program? That's what these people do. The mere existence of being in my presence enrages these people. And yet we are right time after time after time after time. They will not listen to us because they don't want to give us the win. What's the thing we were talking about that there was something, this was years ago, and they straight up said, we don't want to give him the win. I forget what it was. This may have even been before you were here, but some lawmaker just openly admitted they weren't going to do something because we don't want to give him the win. Right. We don't want him to be able to go on his radio show and talk about how he was right and we caved and did what he wanted. That's how disgusting these people are. Just listen to us. I know this better than 99.9% of the people out there, and we begged you people not to do this thing, and then they do it because they always think they're the smartest people in any room. They have unlimited resources at their disposal to get things right.
That you're paying for, by the way.
It's just us. It's our life experience talking about this, and they can't get it right, and yet they're going to do it again, and they'll screw it up even more. You watch.
Speaking of life experience, I've got the application pulled up for the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, the nominating committee.
Okay, let's take a break because we want to reset this now that we've found out how much these people actually make. Somebody may not have been listening earlier. You're going to apply for this.
No, I don't. We'll see based on some of the application questions.
No. There's no we'll see. You have to apply given how much this job pays. So why don't we take a break and we'll reset how much this public service position pays and the application process.
It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, it's a government shutdown. Yet we're all still working. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Are you ready for retirement or just hoping for the best? At Wise Money Radio, we bring you the strategies, stories, and straight talk you need to make your money work smarter so you can live wiser. From taxes and healthcare costs to Social Security and income planning, we cut through the noise to give you the clarity you deserve. Listen to Wise Money Radio with Joe Wilson of Omega Wealth Private Capital, Saturday mornings at 5 right here on 93.1 WIBC.
Buy more, save more at Scandinavian Designs Furniture. For a limited time, save $200 instantly for every $800 you spend in store. It's the perfect way to complete your look for less. Or splurge on your dream piece, from living room to bedroom. Stop by your local showroom today or shop online at ScandinavianDesigns.com.
Scandinavian Designs Furniture in Castleton and at ScandinavianDesigns.com.
Fall is in full swing at Wilson Farm Market. Bright mums, pumpkins, and gourds are waiting to bring color to your porch and table. Enjoy a fresh apple cider slush or Wilson's famous peach cider slush. The taste of fall in every sip. Inside, the ovens are busy with breads, pies, and treats you'll smell the moment you walk in. Hungry yet? Grab some crispy fried chicken or stop by the deli, salad bar, and cheese counter for easy meals to take home. Wilson Farm Market, right off US 31, just north of Westfield. Your fall favorites all in one stop.
You ready to build your custom dream home? Check out Joyner Homes based out of Greenfield. See one of their model homes in person anytime. It is a great way for you to experience the customization and quality of a Joyner Homes custom built home. Plus, you can meet with a new home specialist to learn about their building process. Available lots if you don't already have one. Find out about floor plans and where they build. Model homes are open 7 days a week from noon to 5 and walk-ins are welcome. Find out more at JoynerHomes.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
WIBC is teaming up with Shepherd Community Center and Gleaners to support Indy. Stop by 4107 East Washington Street this Friday from 3 to 5 for a food distribution event that's all about giving back. Full details at WIBC.com.
Tell me what is wrong. Was I on
You're not going to wimp out, are you?
Well, one of the questions, please identify any memberships or offices you have held in any professional or trade organization. So it was Pharmacy Board, and then it was Brownsburg.
I'm not
Town
applying for
Council
anything. This is your deal. No, wait a second. Okay, it's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob.
So you
That's
don't want
Casey.
in on this?
This has been your deal. Like, this is your time to shine. So last week? I think there was an article saying that the governor is there's been a commission formed to
fill 3 spots
on the IURC, the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, and their job. They have numerous jobs related to energy policy in the state of Indiana, but the most direct one that affects most people is they allow or deny rate increases from utilities. A lot more allows than denies. And they're a big reason your utility bills have skyrocketed. They've basically rolled over and played dead for the past several years for many of these utilities. And so the governor, which is very odd, again, the phrase doesn't know his head from his ass is a strong one, Casey, but I think it applies here because the governor, just this past legislative session, signed a bill that everybody at the time was screaming about he should not sign because it will increase utility rates for many consumers. This is this Dr. Frankenstein SMRs that allow utilities to recoup the cost of research and development, whether the thing works or not or comes to market or not. And so he signed that, and then all of a sudden he comes out with this "me so concerned about utility rates" spiel, and everybody's like, but dude, you just screwed us, so why would we believe that you care about our utility bills? And so now he's on this whole thing about he appointed this new consumer advocate, which the problem in the past has not been the consumer advocate. It has been that the consumer advocate has been ignored in front of the IURC. And now he has these 3 open spots for the IURC. And we found out last week, we know someone on the committee that makes the recommendations.
Right.
Jim Merritt, our friend Jim Merritt. And so this week we were shooting the breeze with Merritt after we'd wrapped up our segment with him. Oh, it's been a whole hour and I haven't mentioned it. About the dumpster fire mayor of Carmel and that city government she's running over there. Boy, howdy. Do yourself a favor today at some point. Go read the article in the UR Current. I think urcurrent.com is the name of the website. There is a glorious article about what a rotten government Sue Finkam's running over there in Carmel and how she can't get along with her council members, and instead of doing the job of running the city, she's all hung up on some guy saying a city employee looked like they got all dolled up before a TV interview. Boy, go read that.
Keep in mind she's got a $232 million budget.
Yeah, and that's what she's focused on. Anyway, Jim Merritt and I were, and you were there, and we were shooting the breeze about how much this job actually pays.
Yeah, the people who sit on this commission, which is appointed by the governor.
I naively thought it was some sort of, $100 a meeting type of thing, or maybe get a little stipend, maybe a lunch provided.
Right.
Or
I'm thinking, this is a volunteer position.
Yeah, and then Merritt goes, oh, no, it's like 6 figures. I was like, no way, Jim. And he goes, oh, yeah, it's 6 figures. And we looked it up, and we believe the salary is somewhere between like $135,000 and $158,000 to sit on this commission. And so last week you had decided for fun.
I would fill out the application.
And now you have to say the screw for fun side of things, and you have to fill this out for real because you could have 158 large on the line here.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different questions in the application beside your name and your birthday, your address, that sort of stuff. It's pretty intense. So let me share with you a few of the things that they want to know about you. This is under miscellaneous. Requires political diversity among commissioners. Please list your political party affiliation, if any, and its duration.
Okay.
So, do we have to put, since you've been voting the entire time?
Well, like you would be able to put, you'd be Republican, I guess. You voted in all Republican primaries.
Right. So, this goes back to what if you're not in good standing?
Well, here's the thing. Mine would have to say Republican, but maybe not in good standing.
Right. So those are some of the details.
I would put politically homeless if I filled that out.
Independent, does that count?
No, I'd put politically homeless. But this is your form. Go ahead.
Okay, so the Code of Ethics requires commissioners to abstain from political or partisan activities while serving as commissioner. So does hosting a political talk show count as political activity?
No. What's the phraseology on there?
You have to abstain from political or partisan activities while serving as commissioner.
No, that's
they're talking about Lincoln Day dinners.
Yeah, like you can't go to fundraisers, things of that. Yeah, no, you can't go to the Republican or Democrat events, things of that nature. No, you doesn't say you can't talk about politics.
Okay.
So we're good at that because I'm banned. So I'm good on that.
Okay. If you have taken a visible role in matters of significant public interest or controversy, please describe the circumstances.
Yeah, we dump on you people every day. Please put that in your application. We dump on you, that direct quote, we dump on you people every day.
Please provide a list of professional personal references that can attest to your character, abilities, and reputation.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be fine with that.
That's pretty standard. If you have ever been the subject of a background investigation for state or federal positions or security clearance, they want to know all of that.
What's the question?
They want to know if you've ever been the subject of background for security clearance. The thing is, this application is more intense than the people who are governing us.
Yeah, sure. No, absolutely.
And they're going to pay a whole lot of money, your money.
But you have to do this.
October 14th is the deadline.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, absolutely. You have to fill it out, and hopefully you'll get an interview. Merritt knows you. Just list Merritt as a reference.
Just put it all on him.
All right, so let's take a break. When we come back, there was a fascinating piece of audio that is making the rounds from that hearing out in Morgan County the other night on the data center, and some dude got up there and just let it fly, and he is my new hero. I love this old guy. This is awesome, and you'll need to hear this audio because data centers probably coming to a community near you.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
Zillow ranks Indianapolis number 2 among 2025's hottest markets. Home values have risen and are holding strong. Now is a great time to sell. Hire the team with proven systems to maximize your equity. Sell your home with Mark Dietl. Perhaps you're worried with a challenging market you won't sell your home for the price it's worth. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Dan and Casey in Indianapolis had to say about working with Mark Dietl. It was time to downsize, and we needed to sell our old house quickly at full value. Mark Dietl made it happen. We got our asking price in a few weeks without any repairs or an appraisal. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietl at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. And be sure to tell him Rob sent you.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaimed their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code USA to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code USA to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code USA.
Up to 50% off and 2.99% financing, plus receive an additional $550 off your project.
Because at B Windows,
we mean business. We mean business.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, who an Indiana congressman is placing the blame on for the government shutdown, where a fatal shooting happened on Tuesday, the number of homicides IMPD is reporting for 2025 so far, and what one city leader is trying to do about a rate hike request. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
How long will it last? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It is day one of a government shutdown.
Every single bit of this was entirely avoidable.
House Speaker Mike Johnson again urging Senate Democrats to approve their bill providing 7 weeks of funding.
There's no poison pill. There's no partisan tricks. There's no gimmicks whatsoever.
He says it's Democrats playing politics.
They did something that is rather shocking to us. They prioritized taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal aliens over keeping the government open for American citizens.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer responds, telling reporters this morning,
they are lying. And you know why? They don't want people to know the truth about health care and how they're decimating it.
Democrats demand provisions in a funding bill to extend health care subsidies for many Americans set to expire at the end of the year. Now, this shutdown affects hundreds of thousands of federal employees. Many could be laid off. Others deemed essential will keep working without paychecks, from law enforcement to air traffic control and airport security to the Department of Education.
Many of its core operations will continue, with federal financial aid such as Pell Grants being paid out and student loan payments coming due. But no new federal grants will be issued, and investigations into civil rights complaints will stop. Also continuing processing of the free application for federal student aid. That's a key piece of how colleges and universities provide aid packages to incoming students.
Fox's Lillian Wu. The Supreme Court's new term starts today to consider new cases, and we've just learned this morning another one will be added to the docket. The justices will consider President Trump's attempt to fire Federal Reserve Board Governor Lisa Cook. She's accused of mortgage fraud. Cook not only denies that, she remains on the job. The accusation dates back to before her time at the Fed, her lawyers challenging the president's authority to fire her over that past allegation. The court will hear the case in January. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Playing the blame game. It's sunny and 69 in Indianapolis. The high today, 82. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending now at 11:02. The federal government shutting down as Congress failed to pass a package to keep it funded. Indiana Democratic Congressman Andre Carson was hoping it wouldn't come to this.
Democrats have one single request. Don't take away health care from millions of Americans. But Republicans aren't even in D.C. to negotiate.
Senate Republicans had proposed a continuing resolution that would have funded the government through November 21st. It passed the House but failed in the Senate. Democrats are expected to take it up again this week. A shooting on the west side of Indianapolis Tuesday afternoon leaves one man dead and another injured.
But we see where we've had firearms again, putting innocent lives in a very tight-knit community. It's here and there between homes, school children. There's churches and daycares around this area, children getting off buses.
IMPD officer Tommy Thompson says the man who was injured went to a hospital with a gunshot wound Any more information, if you have it, you're asked to call IMPD or Crime Stoppers. Indianapolis police say there have been 123 homicides so far this year. Out of those, 56 have been cleared with arrests. That's about 45% solved. When it comes to the motive, arguments are towards the top, connected to at least 20 cases. Robberies account for several others, and some victims were simply caught in the crossfire. Victims range in age from just 5 years old to people in their 70s. City leaders in Indianapolis are fighting AES's proposed rate hike. AES wants to raise power bills by $21 a month for an average household, citing inflation, higher costs, and infrastructure upgrades. On Tuesday, City County Councilmember Michael Paul Hart introduced Proposal 287 at the Administration and Finance Committee meeting, and the committee unanimously approved it. It calls on AES to withdraw their request. And the season coming to an end for the Indiana Fever last night. They fell to the Aces in Game 5 of their semifinal series, 107-98 in overtime. A valiant effort with a lot thrown at them this season.
They're a great example to everybody, what it means to just put one foot in front of the other, to persevere, to not give in to circumstance, and I'm just thankful for this experience with them.
It was the first time the team had made it to the semifinal series in a decade. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
This hour powered by Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard Air dealer.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
I'm going to play this clip of this guy at the Morgan County, I think it was the Planning Commission.
Yeah,
meeting.
the Zoning Commission.
Yeah, this is great stuff. So we had mentioned everybody needs to wake up on this stuff because these data centers are not stopping. And, we told you during the brief little reprieve that we had, which it was great, but when the data center in Franklin Township went down, the Google data center, we said, look, this is momentary. These people will come back. They're not done, and they're still going to keep trying to go all over the rest of the state of Indiana. And people have got to get hyper vigilant about these data centers because they're targeting rural areas too. And for some reason, beyond my understanding, they're getting traction, not from the people, but from these city and town and county governments without really any sort of disclosure. The most basic of disclosure, not only just on the financial impact, but even who the people are.
Who wants to put the data center there?
I think that's the craziest thing. So this one in Monrovia, the Morgan County one, we've had the people on this program before. They have sort of pieced together it's another Google data center, but there's never been any official public acknowledgement, either from the government or the people themselves, on who they even are. Think about that.
You would think that the Morgan County Zoning Commission would know who they're zoning for.
Right. Or, look, and I would just say this candidly, that if you're not going to tell me who you are, I'm not approving your thing. Because some of the things you have to think about are impacts on property values, et cetera. And I would never approve something on those things you're supposed to have to factor in without knowing who the person is so that you can make that sort of judgment call. So you have the deck totally stacked now. This is why people hate their government. It's not that, bad choices get made. That's its own thing. But you have the deck totally, the public perceives the deck as being totally stacked against themselves to where you don't get to know who the person is. Just went through this in my own community where they won't tell me what the economic development incentives were to bring the HarperCollins people to Brownsburg.
Right. Project Tahoe.
You're hiding information. Information is being deliberately kept from the public that isn't some gotcha thing. We have a right to know who's coming into our communities, and we have a right to know what we're paying to bring them there. And yet, our state government, hiding behind this quasi-shadow government IEDC, anytime they get involved, they can just go, nope, too bad, no way, not happening. And you just have to sit there and eat it. And this dude at this meeting who's speaking out about this, he had enough, and everybody needs to listen to this guy because this is how you need to respond when these things pop up in your community. Enough playing nice with these people. You can't play nice with them anymore because they're sure not playing fair with you. Listen to this.
The second thing I want to know is this. Who's actually buying this land, sir? I'm asking you. You know the answer, but you won't give it to us, will you? You know. You say it's a data center, but they blacked that out on Google.
You need to address us.
I ask him. He's the one that knows the answer, not you.
I know, but you're talking.
He knows the answer, not you, sir. We have a right to know who's actually buying this property. I'm talking to you now.
Hey, calm down, sir.
I want to know.
We're giving your time. Calm down.
You're taking my time. You're going to give it back to me?
No, but we're.
Then shut up.
Sit down, sir.
No.
Sit down.
I want to know who the company is that's going to take this property. Who's the owner?
Come on, sir.
Who's the owner? Don't want to tell us, do you?
The cops.
You don't want to tell us either, do you?
And they basically removed the guy from
Everyone,
the podium.
we need to be civil here.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple things on this. As someone who once had the cops weaponized on me, for merely asking in a public meeting, how does an item get on the agenda? And then, of course, famously, the cop that removed me had no idea what was going on. He's like, "What's happening?" And I told him, he goes, "No, that can't be it." And then the chief of police came out and was like, "Yeah, that's it." And they were like, "Go." He goes, "Well, go back in there and ask him again." Shouldn't you know before you remove somebody from a building what's going on? Anyway, that is this guy was doing nothing to have the cops weaponized on him. He wasn't a threat to anybody. He wasn't, and you're an elected official, and you should be the one barking at the guy doing the presentation and saying, "Sir, I will not vote for anything until I know who you're representing." That guy shouldn't have to do it. The government, the elected and appointed people, should be the ones doing it. You tell us who you are. You tell us who you're with. You tell us what you want to do. We as a community have a right to know these things so that we can make an informed decision on how it may impact us. Because everybody who says, well, people have the right to sell their land. They do. However, one of the caveats of living in a decent society is you can't put a nuclear plant, unless it's in Sim City.
Next to a playground.
That's what my wife does when she gives up on the game. She puts the nuclear plant next to the housing development. But you can't put a nuclear plant next to a housing development. There have to be some rules. There have to be some regulations. And part of that is to protect the value of the people who are already living there. And so when we do that, we say, hey, the community has some voice. Now, if something's zoned for something, then you really, and it fits the zoning requirement, then I'm sorry, you don't have much of a say. But if you're coming to the community asking for them to make changes on already agreed upon land usage, then I'm sorry, you do have a say. The community does have a say, and part of that should be they get to know what it is before a vote.
Well, consider this. This report just came out from Bloomberg, and it's talking about the electricity prices, how they're rising across the United States, but much faster near data centers. They said in data center hotspots, wholesale electricity prices have increased up to 267%.
And this is why when I hear and see Braun do these crocodile tears, the governor, over the rising utility costs, I say, if you actually cared about utility costs, you'd be doing things to actually ensure that utility costs don't skyrocket, which is one, instructing your IEDC not to give hundreds of millions of dollars in incentives to these data centers, and start making these people play out in the sunshine and not hide behind your quasi-shadow government entity, Mr. Braun.
Right. If the electricity prices are going to raise 267%, at least tell us who's doing it.
Here's one of the things that you've really put together out of all the stuff that's been written by the IEDC, about the IEDC. And it's been hard, and people like the Capitol Chronicle have done a phenomenal job. The Indy Star have done a phenomenal job. They deliberately, they being the IEDC, structured this thing to make information hard.
Right.
Because they knew if information was hard to get, fewer people would get it.
Or give up.
That's what I'm saying. Fewer people would get the information because they knew what they're doing is not on the level. And the legislature knows what the IEDC is doing is not on the level. That's not how good government should operate. And they knew that if they had to operate in the framework of good regular government, that a lot of the stuff would go down. And they wanted this. The reality is they wanted the IEDC to be this slush fund for pet projects for connected people. That's what came out in that article last week that Kayla Dwyer and Haley Colombo did in the Indy Star. The IEDC is basically just a giant money laundering operation and is also used as a slush fund to benefit the interests of hyper-powerful, hyper-connected people.
I want to go back to something that was in this article about these data centers. They say that there's clearly aging infrastructure. Some of these grids were built 50, 60 years ago, and they're struggling to handle the modern demands. And they lack real-time monitoring. In some instances, they can't even keep up to determine how much electricity these data centers are using.
Yeah, two things. The person who's probably actually done the most, now he operates in a different framework, but revealed the most about the IEDC, it's probably Steven with the Indy Reporter. Like, if you are not following that account, you totally should, at Indy_Reporter_, because he just lives in that stuff. Now, you know, the Star and the Capitol Chronicle, they've done a lot of work on it, but they go to cover other stories, et cetera, and he has revealed more on these documents than probably anybody. But the other part of this is, and I will never forget this, when I got elected, all these big plans, these road projects, cut taxes, blah, blah, blah. And a guy who was on the board pulled me aside and goes, you know, you got a lot of interesting ideas, and some of them are going to do a lot of good. But he said, what you're going to find is the most important things you'll do are the most boring because you're not going to get any headlines for them. And I said, well, what do you mean there, Grandpa? And he said, things that are most important to people's basic lives, they don't even think about them because they always work. Toilets flush. Water comes out of the faucet. In this case, we're talking about electricity. Like that when you flip the light switch on, that the light comes on.
That it's there.
Imagine living in a society where you flip the light switch and the light doesn't come on. Imagine living in a society where it's 100 degrees outside and your air conditioning isn't working. Those are things you never think about, but the government actually plays a vital role in ensuring, and right now they're not only not doing a very good job, they're doing a horrible job with it, and we're starting to reach what could be a crisis point where there is going to come a day where during certain periods of time, you ain't going to be able to turn your lights on.
Rolling blackouts.
This has happened in other parts of our country, and we are just sitting here, twiddling our thumbs, continuing to approve the very stuff that is going to, while it may not directly cause it on its own, it will certainly accelerate those sort of things happening. And you're telling me that in the middle of the day, if push comes to shove, the government's going to tell Google, hey, man, you got to shut down for a few hours so that Harold can turn his lights on. No. You'll be the one without air conditioning. You'll be the one without lights. You'll be the one without electricity.
And if these are national security concerns, shouldn't the federal government be stepping in?
Well,
your money.
There is no plan. That's the problem. There is no plan. You don't as a business have a right to be wherever you want to be, especially if you are a drain on the public. And what businesses have gotten really good at in Indiana, they have recognized that, no pun intended, our state government is open for business if you're a business, especially if you're a big business. Now, if you're a rank and file human being, they hate you. Look at the policies of our government here in the state of Indiana over the past really 10 years. And you tell me they're not 100% rigged in favor of big business and mega corporations. All the tax cuts, all the tax incentives, big business, big corporations. All of the way they're structuring these things to be able to operate through the IEDC, et cetera, to hide them from communities, big business. And so it is time for the people to start sending a message to these any of these corporations, whether they're warehouses, whether they're data centers, whatever. You don't have a right to be here. It is a privilege to be in our community. We have rights as well. We don't have to roll over and play dead just because you want to be here. And we don't give a damn about your ribbon cutting or your headlines. We were here first. We have a right to exist. And you have to prove to us that you deserve to be here.
You think the bare minimum would be knowing who it is?
Right. But they know. The IEDC knows that almost everything they get involved in involves some level of shenanigans.
And secrecy.
And the things that if the people found out, the public found out what they were actually doing, they'd be outraged, so they can't operate in the sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there are some places where the public is getting mad. We saw it in Franklin Township. We're seeing it in Monrovia. Everywhere, hearing my voice right now, needs to be mad. Everywhere hearing my voice needs to be pissed off. Everywhere needs to get engaged, because if they don't, they're going to take everything from you, including your ability to turn on your lights.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Frantic search after a school collapse.
93 WIBC.
91 students still unaccounted for.
What happens next
Bad for them and irreversible by them.
happens here.
Members of Congress will still get paychecks in the shutdown.
Air traffic controllers are on the job, and benefit checks still go out.
Stay in the know.
Gunshots and body bags.
While you're on the go.
5 people are killed in a matter of hours.
It puts everyone in the community at risk.
I have tried to have these conversations in private. There is no intention of accepting there's a problem.
On air, online, and on Alexa.
Pat Sullivan here. It's that time of year in Indiana when you don't know if you need your AC unit blasting or your furnace to start kicking. Better have both prepared with a $49 AC unit and furnace tune-up from Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Is it sweater weather or tank top weather? Nobody knows. But we do know that you can ensure total comfort inside your home for only $49. Call Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE.
There's one name for every home system: Chapman. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, drains, electrical, and now proudly serving Bloomington. Remember the man for all seasons, and now more reasons. Chapman. ChapmanHeating.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Up to 50% off and 2.99% financing, plus receive an additional $550 off your project.
Because at B Window,
We mean business. We mean business.
Spin round and round. Spin around and round and round. Spin round and round.
I cannot believe this WNBA commissioner actually said this about Caitlin Clark. I mean, they have just... So remember when Caitlin Clark got drafted by the Fever, I said, look, realistically, you have a 3 to 5 year window for this thing to work, because if you look at the history of niche sports and the height of their popularity, whether it's boxing with Mike Tyson, the professional hockey when Wayne Gretzky came to North America and played for the Los Angeles Kings, Tiger Woods, although his was a little bit more prolonged just because golf had more of a mainstream history than the other sports. But if you look at, Pele with soccer, there is it's just human instinct, right? There's this new thing. It's super interesting. There's this individual who just
excels at it.
Right, electrifies people. People haven't been paying attention to it before, so it's this new shiny object, and they pay attention to it for a while. I mean, in the case of hockey, it became so popular they made the Mighty Ducks franchise out of it, and hockey's reverted back, and as is boxing and golf, and people just they go back to what they know. They move on from something. I've seen it. I didn't grow up with this. It's not ingrained in me, and so I said, realistically, you look at the recording of sports history. The WNBA had about 3 to 5 years to capitalize on the Caitlin Clark phenomenon to try to grow or at least make some level. I mean, look at golf. While there are not as many people watching at the time of Tiger, they have made it a profit monster. They have the corporations and everything they got into it, so they capitalized from a money perspective on the game of golf, on the Tiger popularity. So while if you're the WNBA, even if the popularity wanes, get your sponsorship deals, get all your things in place, make your money off of this.
Right, get your merch.
And they have blown this thing at every possible corner, Casey.
Well, by the way, the Fever lost last night, 107-98. But here's what happened. A Minnesota Lynx player, she's also the vice president of the WNBA Player Association. She's being critical of the commissioner of the WNBA. And this player, she called Engelbert the worst leadership in the world.
That is the commissioner of the WNBA. The last name of the commissioner of the WNBA.
Engelbert, yeah.
Because she came out and basically insinuated that Caitlin Clark is making $16 million on sponsorship deals, and she's lucky she has the WNBA because she wouldn't be making the money without the WNBA.
Yeah, she said Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court. Without the WNBA platform, she wouldn't make anything.
Which is utterly ridiculous, given that is it Ice Cube that has the 3-on-3 league or whatever that is that he tried to get her to go to, and they offered her $1 gajillion to go play in that thing. And so at every turn, whether it's jealousy from the players or just disdain apparently from the management of the league, they have totally botched the Caitlin Clark experiment. And now the major problem they've got, I know that there was some local news coverage of the Fever playing, but did you see any headlines, any front page news, Fever in, go to game 5? I mean, I got mentioned, but regular season games with Caitlin Clark were infinitely more publicized.
Because Caitlin Clark was out.
Than their playoff games. They were one step away from the finals, right?
Yes.
And you didn't hear boo about it because nobody gives a damn about this league. They care about her. And instead of using her and just lifting her up and saying, sweet mama Caitlin, make us every single ounce of revenue you possibly can so we can all benefit for years to come, they have totally alienated and ostracized her. And now that she's been hurt, it's been out of sight, out of mind. And my favorite thing is they're going, well, look we still have more people that are viewing than in the past. Yeah, because there were 9.
Anything is improvement, right? The bar was pretty low before.
You have people, because they were watching because of her, who are like, hey, this is kind of interesting, which is the natural, like I said, it's the natural trend of niche sports that get incredible players. Now, usually the incredible player drives that. This has just been, and I don't mean this in a negative context, but sort of hangers on, right? The people who went, they saw it, okay, this is interesting, I'm into this, da-da-da-da. And that will happen for a while. But it's not near where it should be because the sport itself, just like people after Mike Tyson went to prison weren't like, hey, man, I got to get every fight because boxing is awesome. No, they watched the fight because they wanted to watch Mike Tyson potentially kill some guy.
Right, because of the one athlete. I look at my husband as a great example. He loves all sports, and he was so into the WNBA, and it was all we would hear about. Caitlin Clark this, Caitlin Clark that. He didn't even mention it last night.
No, nobody was watching it. I mean, we went Sunday. There was a Fever game on Sunday because my good friend Ben Verbanek, the most beautiful man on all of television, and indie reporter.
Yeah, you had some dinner and dancing.
Yeah, we went out, and there was a home game.
Right.
And we saw people.
Was it on?
No, it's it was over. We saw the people filing out, or they were filing out when we got there, but there was not a throng of people or media coverage, or it's hey, we're shutting the city down, or normally that happens with some sort of big, marquee sporting event where you can't even maneuver, you know.
Right.
None of that was happening. Like, we forgot that it was like, oh, yeah, there was a game today.
Oh, yeah. Right. So the Minnesota Lynx player, she was saying that the commissioner said, this is from the commissioner, that the players should be on their knees thanking me for securing the WNBA's media rights deal. Actually, the commissioner should be on her knees thanking Caitlin Clark.
Well, look, and they have capitalized to some extent in the terms of, look, the WNBA is a dumpster fire league. It's a charity case. It's always been a charity case. For 25 years, it's been political correctness that has allowed it to continue, because it never would have made it on its own without rich, oftentimes NBA team owners just floating it out of tax write-offs or, you know, whatever. They have a level of stuff with their money I don't understand, but it's not been a money maker. And once you remove her from the equation, her being Caitlin Clark, it won't be a money maker, and you will go back to 300 very hardcore fans in these arenas. And I'm not trying to disparage the league. It's just the history of sport that once the person, and her being injured has been a huge detriment, because unlike a Tyson or a Gretzky or a Pele or a Tiger, they had a window where they were at the tippy top of their game. And every time you turn that TV on, there they were doing their thing. You haven't even been able to see her for the past half a season.
Right, exactly.
And it gets it even more out of sight of it, because at least if she was playing, you'd say, hey, they lost that game 5, but hey, in a few months, they're going to be back, and we can't. You haven't even seen her in months. So talk about just handling something as wrong as you possibly can. They'll write books about this over time, because wow.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The first day of the shutdown. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:30. The U.S. federal government entering into a shutdown today after Congress failed to pass a funding bill before the midnight deadline. Senate Democrats rejected a continuing resolution from Republicans that would have funded the government through most of November. Indianapolis police releasing new homicide data today showing that so far this year, the city has seen 123 murders, with just under half of them followed up with arrests. Indianapolis Council member Michael Paul Hart is introducing a resolution that encourages AES to withdraw a rate hike request.
The people of Indianapolis don't want to see a rate increase. Michael Paul Hart doesn't want to see a rate increase, and I ask for your support that we do not see, that we urge these folks to not see a rate increase as well.
If approved, electric bills would go up $21 for the average household. And the season is over for the Indiana Fever. They fall in the semifinal series to the Las Vegas Aces after last night's Game 5 loss in overtime. I'm Jarrett Lewis, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, listen, are you a 50-year-old person looking for term life insurance? Then you need to talk to Bob. Bob specializes in helping people find $1 million or more of term life insurance for a couple of $100 a month. Look, you need to know there's a price war in the term life insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call Bob, and he'll shop and see how much money he can save you. Look, this could be the last term life insurance policy you ever have. Your rates are guaranteed for the next 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rates for the next 20 years. And if you're a smoker or your health is not perfect, Bob has great rates for you too. So for $1 million of term life insurance coverage for a couple of $100 a month, call Bob right now. 800-890-5075. 800-890-5075. 800-890-5075. That's 800-890-5075. Paid for by Term Direct.
Luxury awaits you at Tom Roush Lincoln and Fishers. Come see the full line of breathtaking Lincoln vehicles at Indiana's premier Lincoln dealership. From the moment you arrive at Tom Roush Lincoln, you'll know you've arrived. Shop over 200 new Lincolns in our state-of-the-art family-owned and operated dealership with no pressure. Just the award-winning service and respect you deserve, plus complimentary pickup and delivery for service. Luxury awaits you at Tom Roush Lincoln and Fishers.
From the moment our eyes met, I knew it was love at first sight. She had such a playful sense of humor. And when I look in that sparkle in her eyes, I just melt. My folks always said to find the girl I can't live without. And my heart says she's the one. So I'm going to Pierce Jewelers in Carmel for that perfect diamond engagement ring. Nothing says I love you more than an engagement ring from Pierce Jewelers. She pierced my heart. Now I'm going to pierce hers. Shop local. Shop smart.
Shop Pierce Jewelers.
At Price Point Comfort, we promise you'll never be sold something you don't need. Call us at 317-455-1124 or see us at pricepointcomfort.com.
Price Point Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air dealer.
Our electric bills have increased as much as $50 each month. Governor Mike Braun is driving bills even higher. Instead of helping families, Governor Braun is doubling down on costly coal, gas, and nuclear. That means more pricey power plants that Hoosiers like us have to pay for. Utilities get richer, we pay more. Something has to give. Go to StopMikesHikes.com today to send Governor Braun a message. Hoosiers need affordable energy, not a blank check for greedy utilities. Paid for by Citizens Action Coalition.
I didn't even believe you when you told me this, but I have found the articles plural confirming.
Yeah, there's many of them
about what this woman. So Kristen Bell, is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she is. She's been in a bunch of stuff. Like I would have not known her name. Now I'm a horrible person to ask Hollywood stuff about because I don't really watch television or movies. But I would have known her face, but I would not have known her name.
Right.
Now, but she's been in a bunch of pretty prominent actress, right?
Yeah, I mean, blonde. Let's see here. Her breakout role was as Veronica Mars. She starred in The Good Place. She played Princess Anna in Frozen and Frozen 2.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. That's the one I think I would probably know her. Anyway, this is not Angelina Jolie, but she's also not, the Where's the Beef woman, right? Okay, so she's, a well-known. I was just thinking the first obscure one-hit wonder person I could think of. Anyway, she, made a good living, and she's 45 years old.
Okay.
She's been married, according to this, since 2013. She's married to a Hollywood guy.
Yeah.
Dax Shepard is his name. He was on like a bunch of those teeny movies in the 2000s.
Like early to mid 2000s. He was in Without a Paddle and Idiocracy.
Okay. So they're Hollywood people.
Right.
They've been married for 12 years. If she's 45, Casey, now simple math would tell us, if she's 45 and been married for 12 years, she would have got married at 33 years old.
Correct.
Right? Okay, public school math.
Yeah.
So she didn't marry this guy when she was 18.
Right.
She had an essentially 15-year adult existence to do whatever she desired to do. Now, I don't know if they have kids together.
They do. They have two daughters.
They have two kids
an
together.
11-year-old and a 9-year-old. Lincoln and Delta are their children's names.
So by all accounts, she's been married to this guy for 12 years. That's a pretty stable marriage. She has 2 children with this guy from this marriage. And you married him when you were 33, so you had 15 years of adult existence to do whatever you want to do. And she's asked in this interview, I don't even know, I'm looking at this from People, but I don't know where this originated out of.
The question was asked on her husband's podcast.
Armchair Expert Podcast. That's the name of this guy's podcast.
Yeah, and they're known for being very open about their relationship.
I guess.
And working as a team.
So she basically got asked somehow about what sort of floozy she was in her early days before she married this guy. And she's lamenting that she wasn't floozy enough.
She was asked how active she was in her 20s on a scale of 0 to 10. She rated herself as a 4, but said she wished it had been a 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's like she wishes her life motto had been no retreat, no surrender. I mean, what?
She said, I just wish I had butterflied around a little bit more.
Is that what they call it?
Butterflied around.
I never heard that phrase before.
Right. That's what she wanted, and that she regretted not dating more before she got serious with her husband.
Now, Kev had the quote of the day. Kev, how did you describe what her ages 18 to 33 was likely? How that likely went?
I feel like she probably had enough experiences. I mean, she was in Hollywood. She had access. I mean, also she's probably just comparing herself to her Hollywood peers who probably also slept around a lot.
So Kevin is so calm about everything, and I love Kevin will just add things, and he's so monotone in it, and Kevin just looks at us and goes, I feel like she probably slept with enough people.
She probably... Well, you have to put that, her scale was a 4. It's a California 4, right? A Hollywood 4?
But
what is that, an Indiana 8?
But this is...
Exactly.
But this is not some... Okay, first of all,
And how do you say that in front of your spouse?
Well, and you have children.
Right. Like, yeah, I love you. You're good. Man, I wish I had more experience.
I wish I'd hooked up with more dudes.
Right.
What? What? I mean, and again, it's not like you married this guy at 18, which I would look at this woman and go, oh, I'm terribly sorry that you found a loyal, loving partner that you have a family with.
Right.
Yeah, I would definitely be lamenting that and wishing
stinks.
for what,
yeah.
And but again, even if you married this guy at you didn't marry him at 18. You were 33. At 33, I have been 33 years old, Casey. And by 33, you've sort of figured out
Sowed your wild oats?
What you want to do in life.
Yeah.
And if you're into saying, I need to hook up with more dudes, you would have known that by 33 years old. You made the choice to marry this person. You have a family with him, and you go on a podcast.
Her husband's podcast.
And are like, what? I wish I'd visited more randos? Like, what are we doing here?
Imagine how does he take that? Like, that's a backhanded compliment.
Well, how did they even get on? I would love to have heard the audio on how they even got on the conversation. Hey, do you feel like you...
Are you bored? Like, honestly.
Like, here's what I'm really struggling with this segment, Casey. Enough ways to describe the thing without saying something that will get me in trouble. Because all the things I want to say, I can't even say because
that's the best part. You got to be creative.
We have federal decency standards we have to abide by. I was blown away by this, that somebody would say that out loud. And
why is he asking that, though?
Well, why is he asking that?
That's the other question.
And, okay.
Is that his way of saying, hey, I'm bored. Are you?
This is my other question for you, and this has to go to you because you're the pop culture entertainment person. She's on his podcast. Are there enough Kristen Bell fans who are like, I wonder what podcast Kristen Bell's going to be on this week?
I gotta listen to that.
Like, I understand if you had, say, Taylor Swift, or you had Tom Cruise, or whatever. Oh, that'll be interesting. Let's see what that the legions of fans, right, that want to hear every word the person has to say. Are you spiking if you're Dax Shepard, by the way, who's listening to the Dax Shepard podcast?
Right.
What sort of hard-hitting whatever is he doing?
Well, I've actually listened to it before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah,
What?
like I think I listened to an interview. I think he had an actor that I liked more that he interviewed some actor that I liked and I listened to.
So this wasn't like you weren't craving more Dax Shepard in your life.
I know Dax Shepard, but I wasn't really curious about what he had to say.
So this is okay.
Did you find it to be funny, real, and deeply insightful?
I mean, I guess it was kind of funny, but I got bored pretty quick.
Okay. Because this is how I found your guy Theo Vaughn. I didn't even know who he was, and Jesse Ventura was on Theo Vaughn's podcast, and it went on forever. Like he kept trying to get out of the interview with Jesse Ventura, and Jesse Ventura would not let the interview in, even though I think he kept alluding to the fact that he had to go. And I saw Theo Vaughn do an interview then years later with he's a comedian who does impressions, and they were talking about how Ventura would not stop the interview, and they kept insinuating he had to go. But anyway, I'm with you on that. I had no idea who that guy was until I saw somebody I was interested in on his podcast.
So Dax Shepard, he launched this in February of 2018, and according to my quick research here, it is one of the top-ranked podcasts on Apple and Spotify. In 2020, they signed an exclusive distribution deal with Spotify, and he's had some big names. I mean, you can tell which way the show leans, but he's got a mix of celebrities, scientists, and authors and experts. Some of his guests have included Barack Obama.
Which one? Okay, wait, what was this? Scientists, what?
Celebrities, scientists, authors, and experts.
Okay, so I guess Obama, someone wrote a book for Obama and put his name on it. So I guess Obama checks the author box. He's also a celebrity, okay?
Bill Gates.
Okay, is he a author? Celebrity?
Celebrity, expert.
He's not a scientist,
maybe an expert.
right?
Right? An expert
at Windows?
Maybe. At business?
Yeah, okay, all right.
At vaccines? Prince Harry.
Which one is he?
He would be a celebrity.
Oh, he's a celebrity. Okay.
Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
And then his wife is also on the list, so she would be in the celebrity category as well.
So they just talk to people.
The show focuses on honest, vulnerable conversations with a wide range of guests. Topics include personal growth, fame and creativity, addiction and mental health, success, failure, and relationships.
Who's the most famous person you ever interviewed?
The most
Like,
famous?
who would you say, not that you liked the best, but who is if I were to say, this is the most well-known person that I interviewed?
It would probably, globally well-known, probably Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. That's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, I would think he was up there.
Yeah. Now, did you find with Muhammad Ali, because I remember this years ago, I think it was 60 Minutes, and I think it was Ed Bradley who did some sort of thing with him, and Ali would play games with people because he wasn't as bad off as people thought, and he would like play games making you think. Like at one point he was faking like he was falling asleep, and Bradley's taken the, I think Bradley was the interviewer, was taking the bait, like is he having some sort of issue? And it was his daughter or somebody was there, and they just start chuckling.
Having fun.
Because he's like roped this guy.
I did pick up on a little twinkle with him because I know at one point during the interview he was trash talking Jim.
Your husband.
My husband.
Yes.
And he looked at me and he said, you could do better than him. And
so did Jim go with you because it was Muhammad Ali? Like you're interviewing Muhammad Ali. Oh, I'm going to this?
yeah. Well, do you remember his movie Ali that came out?
Yes, Will Smith. Yes.
Yeah, it was a movie premiere for that. And Muhammad Ali was at the event. We were raising money for charity.
I gotcha.
So we sold the movie tickets at a very high price. All the money went to charity. Muhammad Ali was there at the event, so I was interviewing him before the movie started.
What'd you ask him? What'd you ask Muhammad Ali?
I don't
Did you ask him anything good?
I don't even remember it. I think
Or did
it was mostly about the movie, like because he had seen it. You know, is it true? Is it really about you? Are you excited about this event and things of that nature?
You didn't like, dude, didn't you like turn to Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live? Remember that time you rumbled in the jungle?
You did that thing.
Was that true? Was there an actual rumble?
Yeah.
Anyway,
And he looked at me and he said that you could do better than him. And he was pointing to Jim. And I looked at Jim and Jim said, well, what am I going to do? Trash talk Muhammad Ali?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm not going to argue with the guy.
he should have looked at him and said, all right, old man, you want to go?
You want to
Let's go right now.
Yeah, because it was later in his life when he was already showing signs of Parkinson's.
Right.
So,
Right.
But you could tell he had that little mischievous twinkle. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't able to fight anymore, but he still had the mentality.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to. He wanted to stir things up.
Yeah, we should start a podcast.
Should
where
we?
we just interview people.
Yeah. What are we going to have? Celebrity scientists, authors, and experts?
Yeah, I think we should get Kevin on that. We're going to start that podcast, and we'll just interview those people.
Okay. I like this idea.
This is ridiculous, though, right? That you would say that out loud when you're a wife and a mother, and you've been married for 13 years or 12 years or whatever, and you would say that in front of your husband. That is ridiculous for Kristen Bell to say basically she wished she'd hooked up with more dudes.
Do you want me to ask you, how active were you in your 20s on a scale of 0 to 10? You got to be honest. You got to be honest if we're doing a podcast.
You know, Casey, to quote the great philosopher and rock poet Michael Stanley, all you get to keep are the memories. You got to make the good ones last.
Abdul's going to join us next, isn't he?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this interesting article by James Briggs, a column by James Briggs in the Indy Star about how bad the property tax bill actually is 5-6 months on.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel's show this afternoon. The biggest stories in Indy. Tony Kennett will call in. And will the unisex bathroom across from us finally explode? Find out this afternoon.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaimed their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Our electric bills have increased as much as $50 each month. Governor Mike Braun is driving bills even higher. Instead of helping families, Governor Braun is doubling down on costly coal, gas, and nuclear. That means more pricey power plants that Hoosiers like us have to pay for. Utilities get richer, we pay more. Something has to give. Go to StopMikesHikes.com today to send Governor Braun a message. Hoosiers need affordable energy, not a blank check for greedy utilities. Paid for by Citizens Action Coalition.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling may seem familiar to you, and that's because they are. They're trusted local family-owned businesses going back 3 generations in Indy with their familiar orange logo and a name you know. But you may not know they'll pay you cash for your scrap metal. Cash is king. Your scrap aluminum, steel, copper, and brass will get you cash from Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Just drop it off or schedule a pickup, and you'll put cash in your pocket. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Local names you can trust with 2 locations.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Get cash for your scrap. Get started at farnsworthmetals.com.
Head online to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra Thursday, December 4th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
All right. We're going to connect with Abdul tomorrow.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that property tax article that James Briggs had, which I thought was super interesting, and Abdul has some interesting thoughts on it as well. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. That's Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Let me check really quick. Yeah, the government's still shut down. Okay.
And you've now look. It has been 11 hours and 50 minutes since the government closed its doors, hopefully forever. But has your life in any way? I mean, were you were able to get to work this morning? I did see a bevy of law enforcement officers in their various places. I saw firemen in the firehouse.
The construction was still happening on Washington on my way in today.
Yeah.
So that's
what are
still
they
going.
doing?
Oh my gosh! You know it's so funny. I talked to my daughter last night. We had a really long, nice phone call, which was great.
Do you like talking on the phone?
Well,
I hate talking on the phone.
I know you do. You prefer to text. It was nice to talk to her. We hadn't talked in a few days, so it was good to
get
catch
off
up.
the phone. As soon as I get on the phone, I want to get off the phone because it's just weird that I can't see the other person.
Well, we were just talking about, I was asking her how are things in the neighborhood where she lives, and she was just telling me, it's, everything's fine, good, and you feeling safe, keep your head on the swivel, that sort of thing. And she mentioned that there was construction in front of her apartment, and it was making things difficult to find a parking spot. And I said, yeah, I understand. There's been so much construction on Washington on my way into work every day. They finally finished a section, but now there's lane restrictions. And she said, are you talking about that bridge? She did, and I said, "Oh, honey, no, that's still going. That's like a 3-year process."
Because now you can get out when I go home. I can go down Washington to some extent now, but I drive that stretch, and I do this with many stretches in the city, And I just ask myself, what the hell's going on? Like, what is even happening here? Like, usually I could see a construction project. I mean, I was around enough of them as an elected person, and I know how to spot them, and I know what's going on. I know when it's a resurfacing, or we're doing a water line or sewer, whatever. I understand all that. I have looked at this project on Washington, and I'm like, what are they even doing? How is it benefiting anyone? It just seems like random holes in the ground.
Yeah.
The road's been closed for, 2 years at least now?
Yeah. In parts of it, for sure, especially that bridge. Have you had to drive over those big metal plates that they put down?
Yeah, I weave around them.
Do you?
Sometimes in oncoming traffic.
I'm afraid that one of them is going to blow my tire.
Oh, yeah, I would never drive over those.
Yeah.
I would just stop until somebody passes.
And then go switch lanes.
Well, I think that's the other thing that is it's one of numerous concerns. By the way, I did want to tell you, I had to get that battery the other day. You're always lamenting my car, and I'm sure it'll break down on the way home. But Norm...
The car that you have to put oil in once a week?
That's right.
Okay.
But Norm, who changed my battery, who is a big Kendall and Casey fan, get there, get the car, he looks it up.
Did he have some suggestions on a new vehicle for you?
Well, I'll get to that in a second, but he pulls the thing up. Do you get this? Where he pulls the thing up and he goes, radio guy? Maybe.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, yeah, I'm a big fan of your show. Why, yes, I am the radio guy. But Norm, who did a phenomenal job changing my battery, he told me that car looked fine on the inside. And Norm was a truck driver for years. He's been at AutoZone for 10 years. I say if Norm's in on it, because I told him about the oil, and he goes, it'll be fine. Just keep putting the oil in it.
It'll be fine. Yeah, well, what does he mean by fine? It looked fine. Like, is it clean?
I don't know.
Or it's not going to catch on fire?
I don't know. I mean,
on a scale of 0 to 10.
Well, the car is not great. But my point is, if all I got to do is put oil in it once a week, that's way cheaper than having a car payment.
Yeah, that's true. But...
I mean,
Do you feel safe?
I live such a minimalist life, Casey. Look, I taught myself at a very young age, I don't deserve nice things. And once you've taught yourself you don't deserve nice things,
the expectation is
you
set.
never have a desire to have them.
You're okay. Did I tell you I went into the gas station the other day and I walked in and somebody said, Casey? And I looked up and yeah? And he said, hi, big fan of the show. Tell Rob I said hi. And then he said, I know, I only have like 30 seconds with you. Because of what you always say. And I mean, he was really nice.
It's so weird.
And then I asked him, I said, how did you know it was me? And he said he recognized me from the YouTube feed.
Oh, have you found this? It's so weird when people will talk to you about things you've just talked about on the show, which meant they were listening or a day ago or whatever. I just assume no one's listening.
It's just me and you and Kevin.
Yeah, I mean...
It's just the three of us in here.
I totally forget that there are people actually listening. It's like, oh...
Well, nobody's listening at the State House.
Well, it's always like...
That's for sure.
Somebody asked him, the radio guy, I'm like, did I defame one of your relatives?
What did I say? You're doing the quick recall. Yeah. All right, it's time for us to go.
Is it really time to go?
It is time for us to go.
He hasn't even started the music yet.
Kevin, start the music. It's time for us to go.
You just want to go? Or are you desperate to be done? Are you having that little fun?
I have to go to the bathroom.
What if we just did 3 more hours?
I have to go to the bathroom.
We have a meeting after this.
I still have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Abdul will join us tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Kevin. Thank you for listening today. It's been Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
It stopped raining. And she says, baby, well, it's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. Heaven, she says, baby, I can't pay her. Well, I can't help but be scared. Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal. Race Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling may seem familiar to you, and that's because they are. They're trusted local family-owned businesses going back 3 generations in Indy with their familiar orange logo and a name you know. But you may not know they'll pay you cash for your scrap metal. Cash is king. Your scrap aluminum, steel, copper, and brass will get you cash from Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Just drop it off or schedule a pickup, and you'll put cash in your pocket. Raise Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Local names you can trust with 2 locations.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Get cash for your scrap. Get started at farnsworthmetals.com.
America respects our first responders and veterans, the brave whose business is taking action when calamity strikes.
It's dangerous work, often surrounded by sirens, shouting, even gunfire, so hearing loss is probable. First responders can turn to Relay Indiana. If you have trouble hearing on the telephone, visit RelayIndiana.com for voice recognition technology phones that allow the hearing impaired to have normal phone conversations. And there's loaned equipment for those who qualify. Get clarity back on the phone. Visit RelayIndiana.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Parents, teachers, school board members, do you want your school to experience the richness of academic freedom or the constraints of a one-size-fits-all federal mandate called Common Core Standards? Advocates for academic freedom is for educational excellence and local control of your school. Come join the fight for your children's education. You can contact us at advocatesforacademicfreedom.org or call 1-715-234-5072.
Up to 50% off and 2.99% financing, plus receive an additional $550 off your project.
Because at B Windows,
we mean business.
We mean business.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
Democrats could have worked with us in a bipartisan manner.
Democrats have one single request.
But no new federal grants will be issued.
And the last thing they need to see is an additional rise in the utility bills.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
A government shutdown is here. Skies are cloudy and it's 74 degrees in the Circle City. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. Funding has been cut off and Congress could not get a spending bill approved before the midnight deadline. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson saying this morning that you can thank Democrats for that.
Democrats could have worked with us in a bipartisan manner to avert this unnecessary and very harmful shutdown. But instead, they did something that is rather shocking to us. They prioritized taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal aliens over keeping the government open for American citizens.
But Indiana Democrat Congressman Andre Carson said this not long before the shutdown went into effect.
Democrats have one single request. Don't take away health care from millions of Americans. But Republicans aren't even in D.C. to negotiate. Don't let them try to fool you.
Which is why he says this shutdown is entirely on Republicans. With more on that, here's Fox's Jackie Heinrich.
Republicans control the White House and both chambers of Congress when these programs start to grind to a halt. But the Senate filibuster, that 60-vote threshold in the Senate, requires Democratic support to pass any bill. Another perception battle is over messaging. The White House says one of the reasons there's no negotiation happening right now is because Democrats are